There, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Jacob with Pest Pro Services. We are locally owned and operated, and we are proud to be a top 15 small business in the state of Alabama. We specialize in pest, mosquito, and termite control, and we would love to earn your business. Give us a call for a free inspection and estimate. 265-9990, 265-9990. Or you can visit us on the web at ppsriverregion.com or find us on Facebook at Pest Pro Services. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. You want to be a songwriter?
No, Willie, you are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring T.J. Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who will show up.
In a new scripted Audible original.
Any advice?
Yeah, to steal something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, or as we're calling the show online, Joey Clark Live. And as is tradition, one of my favorite traditions of the week here, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today?
I am well, Joey. Thank you. Thank you for making me a tradition.
Well, and it's becoming a tradition to ask you about the Trump legal matters. I saw today as I'm riding in, Trump held in contempt. Do you think he'll be able to manage to pay the $9,000?
You know, the statute in New York limits the penalty to, you ready for this? $1,000 or 30 days in jail per act of contempt. And it is apparent that the New York court system and the Secret Service have worked something out. God only knows what it is. If the latter should be the penalty for contempt, if it involves some sort of incarceration. I mean, it's almost inconceivable, but they apparently have worked something out. I'm against gag orders in part because they're unconstitutional, in part because they lead to this kind of a quagmire where you're sort of backed in a corner. You've issued the order. The defendant has defied it. You don't want to put him in jail for policy reasons. If you don't enforce your own order, you lose credibility with the court. You're going to get the government appealing your refusal to enforce the order that they asked you to impose. It's a mess.
Absolutely.
But that's the situation that the judge is in now. It hasn't reached the mess stage yet, but knowing Trump from personal familiarity with him and from observing him, he's going to push the envelope.
Oh, absolutely. I was a little surprised that like 4 or 5 of the violations was Trump simply posting, say, opinions, I believe, by Jonathan Turley. So, like, if you share an opinion that's negative about the witnesses and the case, then I guess, yeah, that falls under the gag.
Well, look, the theory of these gag orders is that the judge must protect the jurors from outside influences, information coming to them that has not been filtered through the courtroom, and it must protect witnesses from intimidation. So if somebody on a network says Michael Cohen's not believable, and Trump takes that clip and reposts it, the court found that is the legal equivalent of Trump saying it. Now, Trump's entitled to those views. In my opinion, he's entitled to say it, but the gag order says he's not. Now, the gag order should have been bilateral, meaning it should have stopped Stormy Daniels from going to Anderson Cooper and Michael Cohen from going to Joe Scarborough. It didn't. They have since been told by their lawyers to stop, or they will be the victims or the targets of a gag order as well.
Well, and what a mess. And to your point about Trump, I think he thinks this is helping him. That, like, throw me in jail. I get to be the guy who's, wrongfully imprisoned by this corrupt, illegitimate regime, and Biden's all behind it. That you can write it easily.
As unpleasant as as physically unpleasant as his time there will be, yes, he probably would make the most of it.
What a mess. But I want to move on from that. That's my least favorite tradition, ask about these legal troubles with Trump. My next question is, what is it with consistency when it comes to actual defending freedom, in particular the freedom of speech? The example I'll give is Governor Abbott of Texas talked about clearing students from the University of Texas because of their anti-Semitism. And now don't like anti-Semitism and don't like it's maybe too soft a term, but you can't arrest and kick people off for their speech. And we're seeing this all over campuses. And I would draw the distinction of, if you are destroying property, if you are trespassing in some way, you could be physically removed. But if you're saying we're doing this because of the things they're saying, where's the consistency when it comes to the freedom of speech?
Governor Abbott has been my friend for a number of years, but I condemn what he did. He evaluated the content of speech and punished it. And he did so with violence. He sent state troopers, I think they call them Texas Rangers in Texas, on horseback onto the campus to terrify and rough up students, and succeeded in doing so. I'm not in favor of anti-Semitism. I condemn it. But you have a right to make those statements. You have the right to say whatever you want. The Supreme Court says the Constitution protects even hate speech, as long as there's time for more speech to challenge what you've said. And Governor Abbott can't interfere with that. The same First Amendment that restrains the federal government restrains the state governments as well. His case is probably the most extreme. The police were rough in New York. The police were super rough in Atlanta at Emory University. We ran a clip of a female economics professor walking across the campus and seeing one of her students on the ground, on his back, with his hands tied behind him. She went over to say to him, "Are you okay?" The police tackled her and restrained her amid her screaming. I'm not a demonstrator. I'm a faculty member. I'm going to class. I was inquiring about the students' well-being. It's just animalic what's happening. And I'll say this point blank. The cause of the violence is the government. It's not the students. The students, from what I've observed, have not engaged in violence. The government has brought the violence, whether it's NYPD or whoever the police are in Atlanta, Georgia, or the Texas Rangers.
Now, is there a distinction between a public university and a private one? I believe Emory's private.
Well, yes and no. If it's a public university, it's clear as a bell that the First Amendment prevails. If it's a private university, under the old rules, the owner of private property could exclude whoever he wanted. But state legislatures have made college campuses places of public accommodation. They have removed from the owners the right to exclude. So you and I could go on the Princeton campus, the Emory campus, the Columbia campus, and express any political views we want under the public accommodations laws of Georgia for Emory, New Jersey for Princeton, New York, just two public accommodation laws, state and city, for Columbia University. To make this even more complicated, all these schools accept federal aid. They do so in a contract. The contract requires them to respect the First Amendment rights of the people on their campuses. So the bottom line is, today it doesn't matter who owns the dirt, the government or private property. The First Amendment has to prevail.
Again, folks, we're talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. Now, a bit of a curveball. I probably should have emailed you about this beforehand, but last week we had some folks from an institution talking about they want to put a porn filter on phones here at the Alabama state level, which seems fairly uncontroversial here in Alabama. But then
whose phones?
They want the filters to be automatically set when sold by the manufacturer. So if Apple or Samsung sells a phone in here, the porn filter already exists on the phone. It should just be turned on as default instead of turned off as default.
You're asking me what I think of this?
Well, the conversation after that ended up talking about more the history of obscenity laws and what people...
I mean, pornography is protected speech, just like hate speech. So Apple should tell these people to go fly a kite. On the other hand, Apple can sell whatever it wants, and you can buy whatever you want. If you don't like the Apple phone, go buy another phone.
So is there, like, Supreme Court, when did the obscenity laws lose their teeth? And I agree with you, it's free expression. But I'm trying to understand, because they used to be enforced pretty heavily, even in the 80s. When was hardcore pornography kind of let off under the foot of the government?
Actually, under the 90s and 2000s, the Supreme Court backed off a little bit on obscenity. Right now, obscenity is protected as long as it has some social redeeming value, whatever that means.
Right.
It used to be that the producer of the obscenity had to demonstrate the socially redeeming value. Now the government would have to demonstrate that it has none. Now, we're not talking about obscenity involving children. That's an entirely different story. We're talking about obscene materials that depict adults and that are for adults to use. That's perfectly lawful, and it's none of the government's business. Every time the government has tried to define obscenity, it hasn't succeeded in producing a definition with broad acceptance.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious because I thought everything you said was true, but in the moment I couldn't marshal that understanding. Now I want to move on to the op-ed you came out with last week called Killing the Constitution. And, it is interesting for people to learn that, especially, say, in East Germany, people think of 1984 Orwell with, like, these, boots that are coming down on your neck, like your thugs using weapons and violence, and that certainly existed in, say, the Soviet Union. But it seems, especially in East Germany and what's happening in America today, sadly, is you have people reporting on one another. You make the populace suspicious of one another and have them all essentially have to report to the government all their suspicions. Am I right? That's happening in America now?
Well, the extension of Section 702 of the FISA Act, 702 allows the federal government to spy on foreign persons without search warrants and on the Americans with whom they speak. The FISA court has extended that spying ability not only to the Americans with whom they speak, but to the Americans with whom they speak and to the Americans with whom they speak. So these numbers grow exponentially. By one vote in the House and by one vote in the Senate, the Speaker of the House, I have no respect for him whatsoever, so I'll restrain my emotion. But when he was simple Congressman Mike Johnson voted against all this stuff. Now that he's Speaker Mike Johnson, he's in favor of it. He left the Speaker's chair to break the tie vote. The vote was on whether or not the FBI needs a warrant to spy on the Americans with whom foreigners communicate. A warrant, not a novel requirement. It's in the Constitution. It's been there since the Fourth Amendment was ratified in 1791. He broke the tie saying no warrant. Over on the Senate side, the no warrant also passed with no votes to spare. What also passed, and this was the reason for what I wrote and for what you've asked me about, is the expansion on the availability of fiber optic cable to the federal government. So now your cable installer must make your cable available to the federal government. If he fails to do so, they will prosecute him. If he does so and tells you, they will prosecute him. So this is the East Germany comparison, where Americans are spying on each other and they can't talk about it. So in East Germany, if you knew of a crime and failed to report it, you could be prosecuted for failure to report. If you knew of a crime, failed to report it, and told the person that you knew they committed a crime, you could be prosecuted for your speech. The cable operator can be prosecuted for his speech as well. So prosecuted for speech? Wait a minute. Whatever happened to Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech? What happened to it is that Congress doesn't give a damn.
Yeah. And as long as the people don't seem to give a damn either, I think this is the direction we can continue to go.
People have elected Mike Johnson and his ilk to suppress free speach.
It really is a mess.
The people elected Governor Kemp, who dispatched this cop who tackled this woman. If you saw the way this cop, who was 3 times her size, treated her, you'd want to wring the cop's neck out of just a sense of human decency.
Now, it's we always get on topics because it's a news cycle. Right? It leaves so miserable. Are you a baseball fan?
I love baseball. I went in my household in the 1950s and 60s. Mantle, Maris, and Berra were an alternate blessed trinity. I mean, you could say nothing wrong about them, even when they struck out. So, yes, I love baseball. I love the Yankees. When I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky, for basic training, United States Army, I managed our baseball team, and we went all the way to the finals and lost the final game. Never forget it.
Yeah, my grandfather I'm living with, he grew up in Newark, right outside of Newark, and he has fond memories of going to Yankee Stadium and seeing Mantle hit a home run that was just a shot line drive, and he's got more stories than that.
My father took me to a Yankee game, and we saw Mantle hit a grand slam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I wanted to end on something somewhat wholesome and happy, because the news is just miserable, but I always appreciate your time. And if folks want to check out your podcast, Judging Freedom, how can they do so?
Yes, Judging Freedom on YouTube. All my regulars are on this week. Tuesday is Karen Kwiatkowski and Matt Ho, both of whom have great insight on what the IDF is doing in Israel and what the Ukrainians are attempting to do in Ukraine. Ukraine is so far gone. The 61 billion is just a catastrophic and colossal waste. First of all, they're only going to get 20 of it, and 10 of it is already there in cash. Gone. Gone. The other 10 was equipment that Joe Biden sent over before it was authorized. How can you send something out before it's authorized? If the Secretary of State will sign a statement under oath swearing that this equipment is needed for American national security and is an emergency. American national security emergency, the equipment can go. I would defy Tony Blinken to explain to me under oath how whatever we sent to Ukraine is an American national security emergency.
Well, folks,
that's what we're talking about in a couple of hours.
That's why you got to tune into Judging Freedom, folks. Really appreciate your time, Judge. Always great
thank you, Joey. Until next week, all the best.
You too, sir. Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always appreciate it. His time and his insights, especially because he can shake things up, I think, from the, we're all in an echo chamber, aren't we? Let's bring in our two, my co-host is here as usual, Eddie Bader. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing good. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing all right. And then we also have a special guest for today. Byron Shee is here. Hey, Byron, how you doing?
Ellis, how are y'all?
All right.
Eddie,
good to see you.
So, what's on your mind this morning, say, Eddie?
Really, honestly, dinner right now.
Dinner? That's what's,
yeah.
I
didn't have lunch, so.
I like your dog shirt.
Yeah, I thought you would appreciate this. I really was going to wear a T-shirt that said something very smart alecky, but.
Okay.
You decided something about a guest, so I thought I'd put on a nicer shirt.
No, you could have done that with.
Well, I know, but I just remember guest, and with you, it could be anybody.
Well, I'm still tempted to get you, that salty shirt with the chick on it, like it's a salt. I'm going to get you one of those. You a 2XL?
But of course.
Okay.
But of course.
Yeah, me too, depending on the brand.
No, single X.
Single X?
Yeah.
Yeah, tighten it up there, baby.
No, especially if most of them are made in like Indonesia now. So yeah, I'm a big 2X guy in Indonesia. Call me Gigantica.
What's going on with you?
Oh, well, I mean, there's plenty going on. I've been working out a lot,
Yeah?
like sauna workouts and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
And
get behind
weightlifting.
that.
I did both. I did weightlifting and the sauna workouts this morning.
Look at you, Mr. Overachiever.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. But yeah, I'm just learning, Byron, you have these 4 rules.
Oh, no. Those are just some nice things to remember.
To remember?
While you're behind the microphone so you don't step out of line.
But I think they're good ones that we could share with the audience.
Well,
these are rules for life, man. You're like
They
Jordan
are,
Peters.
They are. The rules for life. Number 1, don't have anything nice to say. Don't say anything at all.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may be very quiet this show. Number 2, this is more for the listening audience. If you ever have a question as to why a politician did a certain thing, follow the money, or they're protecting their vital interests in one way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, and it should be at the top for everyone, speak the truth.
Well, amen.
And
Leave
number
that on.
4, just remember to put God and Jesus and dogs in front of everything else, and everything will be okay.
So wait, Christy Dunn lost your vote?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. She lost it a long time ago, I think,
Well,
when she qualified.
Yeah, right. A long time ago. Well, we got to hit this break. More news and views in the afternoon. Should be a lot of fun today after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are 2 different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice, News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Before we go back to all the craziness that is national news, and there's a lot of new polls out when it comes to Trump and Biden, and of course everything going on college campuses right now, as well as some like cringe-worthy clips. You ever watch gentleman Drew Barrymore's talk show?
I watched a couple times.
What?
Yeah. Not the whole show. Watch clips.
Okay, give me your testicle.
Oh, I grew up with Drew Barrymore. E.T. man. That's the girl that we love. That we grew up loving. So
Yeah, she was cute in The Wedding Singer too.
yeah, really good. 51st Dates, another good one.
But why did you watch her talk show?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw Drew Barrymore, and I have a little bit of.
He just needed to make sure she was still alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think she's the smartest thing in the world, but she's no dumber than any of these people that have a talk show.
That's true.
Myself
included. Yeah. I mean, I'm a fancy idiot. That's how I would describe myself. But let's go to local stuff. In particular, did y'all see this story about the guy who was carjacked? 18-year-old kid. Family just moved here about a year ago.
Okay.
Because of the military. And the kid decides, you know what, I'm going to go get myself and dad and my brother like a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or something.
Okay.
Goes over, stops at the Raceway on the Eastern Boulevard. Would you have recommended he go to the Raceway?
No.
I'd stay away from Boulevard, period.
Right. Yeah. Right. Unless you go to Baumhauer's, which we'll be doing tomorrow night. But you know what I mean. I know what you mean.
But we take a caravan when we go to Baumhauer's.
Right. And so this kid goes in, buys the can of Coke or the Dr. Pepper, whatever. And as he's walking back to his car, which is kind of an older used Lexus, guy pulls up a gun on him. And not just any gun. It's like in the photo, it looks like AR.
Oh.
And he's holding it in a very odd way, like holding it up like this. And the kid essentially said, I don't want to be shot.
Right.
Gives his keys up. The guy takes his car. Apparently, he crashed it down the road about an hour later, stole another person's car, and then crashed that one, and he's now in custody.
How soon before they let him out? Because you know that's what's
Well,
gonna
he's a juvenile.
There we go.
So probably not long.
No.
And it makes you go, what in the world are we doing in this city? And I'm now seeing national stories that actually hirings of police are going up again for the first time since, the summer of George Floyd. And so what are we doing here, Montgomery?
Not hiring.
Why not? Why are we not hiring people?
Because that way I don't have to publicly say we're defunding the police. I just don't hire.
Because what? We had somebody call and say we're under 200.
Yep.
Whereas for the longest time, we were a little over 400, right?
Yep. Close to 5 a couple times.
And say if we were at 350.
When's the last time we were close to 4?
Different administration. In fact, when Dan Morse was on.
Near the end of Todd's term, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and we were getting on to Todd we're budgeting for 490, 500.
But we don't have a crime problem here, right?
Right.
That's why when I woke up this morning and opened my back door, I saw a police officer in my driveway from 2 busted out windows from my neighbors getting hit last night. But we don't have a crime problem.
Right. And I'm sure we're reporting everything, right?
Oh, sure.
I don't know, Joey. I just don't know about all that.
Well, how do we classify certain things?
That's another good question. And who does the classification? Because we saw one the other day or about a week or so ago where supposedly it was not life-threatening injuries, but we all learned very quickly that was not to be the case at all.
Yeah, if you read the Amy Dick story, you're like, oh, it was just she got it brushed her.
Right. So how many, and honestly, I've seen some on Facebook Live. There was a really disturbing one about a month or so ago where a young girl got a call that her sister had been deceased and that she OD'd. Well, the young girl went to the sister's apartment, and it was a murder scene. There was literally blood dripping out of the mattress.
Ooh.
And she had Facebook Live going. And she said, and she called out MPD. She said, I've called them again to come out here. How could they say my sister was had OD'd when, there was evidence everywhere, even a lamp with blood all over the lamp. Apparently a cop came out while she was on Facebook Live, and he said, oh, this is a job for a detective. And he left. And the detective came. No one ever came to secure the scene.
And, this isn't just the only one. I'm looking at Montgomery police launch homicide investigation after man shooting death. Gunshots caused damage to cars, businesses in Montgomery. I heard Sky Mosley in his news report putting that out there. You go down to Selma. Shootings pushed 2 Selma schools into virtual learning.
There was a story this morning on WSFA of a Selma woman had her house burned down and shot at. And they said, yeah, that was probably gang retaliation.
And by the way, and you see all this, and folks go, well, you should have to have a permit that you pay for, $40 for at the sheriff's. That'll stop this.
Does it come with a bulletproof vest?
Right. Maybe that'll help. Some Kevlar.
Obviously, this isn't working.
It's absolutely crazy.
I don't know this to be 100% factual, But whenever I heard that there were certain portions of Selma that law enforcement would not enter just for fear of their own public safety or personal safety, I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Right.
I mean, that's almost like Amsterdam from The Wire. You know, just throw your hands up and.
Well, and also if you're a cop and you know for a fact some people have gotten fired for going too much, like what are the rules of engagement, so to speak? Are your hands tied?
Right.
So I'm not going to put my life on the line if all of a sudden I'm going to get fired for trying to do my job.
No, I'm going to put my life on the line and probably protect myself and then deal with the consequences later on. They may have that backwards, but I'll let them figure that out.
Right. But I mean, when you don't have, it has to be, again, what we've seen in the last several years with the trends when it comes to policing and crime in Montgomery, I think it goes to a leadership issue.
Oh, no doubt.
Like you have to have people that go, you know what, the chief's got my back, the mayor's got my back.
The job's too hard for people to put their lives on the line every day and not have 100% support from their higher ups. I mean, if you don't have someone fighting for you to do your job, you're not going to do it.
Right. Because what are the solutions other than, yes, you put more police on the streets, you make sure they're well equipped, they're ready to go, and yeah, the morale is tight here.
Yeah, you got to have their back though, and I think there's a large percentage of the officers out there that've seen what's happened and went, you know what, I'll just ride this out to my retirement.
Has pay altered or risen any over the
No,
last
there was a
couple years?
proposed before the chief was resigned, Chief Albert. They were talking about a pay raise, and more incentives, which at this point I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But is pay the problem? I mean, I'm all about it. If pay's an issue, let's get behind it. But I just don't think pay's an issue.
Maybe we should go back to like it was in the Wild Wild West whenever they told Wyatt Earp they give him $10 for every arrest. You know, maybe we should do it.
I've been trying to preach private security firms for years now to this guy. He's like,
Okay,
I don't know.
Here's
about
my
that.
thought on that. My hot take on that. I already paid for public schooling and sent my son to private school. I don't feel like I should have to pay for public security and then also hire private security.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but
nothing.
The world.
We got to put a stand
life
somewhere.
is not fair, big boy.
I'm my own security then.
I do like that dog shirt. Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days, how you doing?
Hey, gentlemen. They got one police officer in the police academy right now, one recruit. And if he makes it, we'll have one more on the street. But, you know, there's always a possibility he won't make it. So then what are we going to do? We hire one, send him through the academy, and then we got 10 walking out the door.
Right.
Yep.
We're never going to catch up. But you got a twofold problem in most of these blue cities. One, as you said, is leadership, and then the other is the court system. Because if you got the money to pay the officers, you want to give them the pay raise, you want to put more. But then if they make the arrest and then they turn them loose and put them right back out on the street, what have you accomplished?
Right.
But the leadership problem, the mayor can't send Chip Hill to the staff and read the riot act to them. The mayor has got to stand in front of the whole police department and make this speech. I want this city safe. I want you to go out and enforce the laws. I will back you up. And if you step in it and make an honest mistake and are honest with me, I will support you. But we are going to retake the turf. We're going to show the criminals we are in charge. We're going to enforce the laws evenly and fairly, and I will support you. He hasn't done that yet because that's not what he really wants. He wants to straddle the fence, look good in Washington, look good to a certain clientele, and say he wants to save city.
Days, I mean, do you think that the police force would believe him if he actually did that? Because I'm going to have a hard time believing him if he holds a press conference and says that. I'd like to see a little bit more action behind it.
Oh, sure, there'd have to be some quickly some action taken.
Well, I think he can answer a lot of things with actions, which is especially who he hires next.
Yeah.
To be chief.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words. They always do. And you can, preach me a sermon, or you can lead me a sermon, and I'll follow you anywhere if you take the first step. But I mean, it's to the point now that they're getting so hard to get people to apply for the job. I mean, look just what happened in Chicago. Yeah. They had the funeral yesterday of this 30-year-old officer, and the family, not the police department, but the family said to the mayor, "Don't come. We don't want you.
Wow.
You have worked against us. You've made it unsafe for us, and we don't want you there." I mean, this was a 30-year-old guy. His parents were, immigrants, legal immigrants came here. He wanted to serve the community of Chicago, and this individual who's seen on store surveillance in a convenience store an hour before the shooting follows him, stalks him, and when he gets out of his vehicle, he shoots him 20 times with a .40 caliber handgun while in uniform. Why isn't that a hate crime? Why are we not worried about how many times, how many shots were fired? What was the guy's probable cause for engaging him? None of those questions are being asked. But this is why it's getting harder and harder to get individuals to come into this profession.
And, for the longest time, I have said, well, it is true. There's been a national trend in people not wanting to do the job. This just came out today from the Daily Caller. It's from the Police Executive Research Forum. The survey says, quote, "For the first time since the start of the pandemic, agencies reported a year-over-year increase in total sworn staffing. Responding agencies reported hiring more sworn officers in 2023 than in any of the previous 4 years. Agencies saw fewer resignations in 2023 than they did in 21 or 22, though they still had more officers resign last year than in 2019 or 2020. And retirements dropped back down to roughly where they were in 2019 after being elevated for the previous 3 years. Small and medium agencies now have more sworn officers than they had in January of 2020. So there's a lot of places around the nation that have gotten wise to this, like we need to hire more people.
Yeah, but we still need to go back to pre-COVID levels and see where we are there.
Right.
With the economic downturn the way that it was, a lot of people lost, their jobs. And I would suspect that more criminal activity occurred from COVID.
Oh, certainly.
Through now. So
no doubt.
Absolutely.
If we're still not back to pre-COVID levels, we're essentially still chasing our tails.
Yep.
Well, the question is that why will the same Montgomery police officers, and there's one, I don't know whether he's been hired or not, but he was willing to take a $10,000 cut in pay and leave Montgomery and go over to the Montgomery Sheriff's, the county sheriff's department. Mm-hmm. So why is the sheriff's department fully staffed, and why are they leaving the police department, black and white officers, and going over there and basically just putting on another uniform? There's something going on with leadership.
Yep.
And, of course, the sheriff is elected by the people. So, evidently, we've elected a pretty good sheriff the last 2 times. Maybe I ought to let the people pick the chief rather than the committee.
Well,
have a good day.
Appreciate it, Simple Days. Really do. Appreciate it. This part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And they're at Dillon Rings. They are a full-service jewelry shop. That means they have an incredible selection from my high-end pieces to that everyday jewelry that still looks great, but it ain't going to break the bank. And then, of course, they can do repairs there, including watch repairs, spa treatments. If you like going to the spa, your jewelry will like it too. Get it shining brand new, essentially. Get stones reset. And, of course, what they do there, and where Josh Ryder really shines, is his custom design work. And with this brand new renovated showroom they have at 119 Brown Springs Road, I can see the desk right now, Eddie. He's posting it proudly. You saw this on the Book of Faces. Yep. The whole custom design desk. And I'm looking at this diamond ring that he's made for a gentleman.
Yeah.
I want to know who this guy is.
Yeah.
This is remarkably beautiful. Wow. How many diamonds is that?
Quite a few, Joey.
And so, and what you're seeing here in some of these photos, just go to Facebook, search Dillon Rings, folks. is how he can do the digital rendering of a custom design piece and have you check it out before he actually makes, say, a ring or a pendant, whatever it is.
And you can look on Facebook now and you see on the TV where he sketched it out, and there's your final product. It's beautiful.
But what you're seeing there on the computer screen, he can make a reality.
Yeah.
A real life piece. Literally, if you can dream it, he can make it. So check out Dylan Rings today. We'll tell you a little more about them coming up later in the show, but I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road. Say hi to Josh and Leslie there at Dylan Rings, and be sure to tell them you heard about him here on, the radio.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, this is Lyle from Margaret's Exquisite Jewelry, and I do my radio advertising on Blue Water. I'll tell you what, I use most of the stations, and I've been using it for so long. It's hard to tell with the money you spend on advertising if it does any good. When they come in and say, I heard you on the radio, I know it's Blue Water, and I love Blue Water.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of April, showers and thunderstorms will be roaming around here and there as a weakening frontal system is in the neighborhood. Not every town will get wet. Today's high 83, cloudy much of the day, improvement later. Mostly clear tonight, comfortable, overnight low 63. Sunshine, upper 80s on the first day of May tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Near 90 on Thursday, more sun. Risk of some widely scattered showers and storms returning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Hey, Eddie.
Bueller?
You shut up.
Bueller?
Just shut up. Like,
Bueller?
he's saying stuff off air, folks, that I don't even want to hear. And I'm not even being mean. I'm just stating facts. Shut up.
I'm trying to help you out, man.
You're being
Give you that
defensive,
push.
that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's very consistent.
I have a lot to hide. I do like that dog shirt on you, though. Have I told you that?
Mention that.
Did your wife buy that for you?
I think this is another one my mom probably bought for me.
I may have the attention span of a dog, but I know you just threw something over there so we wouldn't go back to what
Oh
we
yeah,
just
that's
discussed.
Joey Clark all day long.
Okay. Just pointing that out.
Oh, look at the phones. Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top. What do you got?
Hey, Red
today?
Top.
Good, beautiful day, guys.
How you doing, man?
Afternoon. And hey, tomorrow we got May Day coming up. The Russians ought to be marching, goose stepping pretty damn big over there in Moscow tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all probably don't even remember May Day, but we always knew that as a celebration of communism.
Yeah, I completely forgot
I
about
thought
it.
that was Labor Day.
Yeah, I know, and I hadn't thought about it either. But it is interesting to look at and think about in the recent past. It hasn't been that far ago, guys. Now, let me say about what's going on in society, especially with all these young black guys shooting each other up all over the place. Reminds me of that song, Come Out and Play. You know what I'm talking about?
Come out and play by who?
Damn, who was it? This is back from the 90s. If you're under 18, you won't be doing any time.
Offspring.
Oh, the Offspring. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Offspring.
I was listening to them at the gym.
You know what? We're living this Offspring song right now, it seems, because so many of them are juveniles. They all got guns. And we can thank the state legislature for that, guys.
So you're telling me the kids aren't all right?
No, I don't think they are. Thank goodness I'm a music teacher, and I don't have to worry about that kind of, because music students do not have all those problems. I can give a music student enough to do in 30 minutes where he ain't going to have time to shoot nobody all week. He better practice his damn scales. And that's what I did. But now, as far as leadership goes, you know, in a way, this is happening everywhere. Selma has got just a rampage of shootings. They had the house in Millbrook, the trailer that was shot up.
Yep.
These are not all situations of poor leadership and not enough policemen. But we do need more here.
Right. Exactly.
But it's a society and a group of society that is out of control and has been since Black Lives Matter. I don't know how we turn this damn stuff around, guys.
There's a lot of separate questions in that.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to you this way, and I've said it time and time again. I think this is not that many folks causing the problem, but it's enough to cause a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when you saw that city council meeting, you had folks from East Side, West Side, everybody upset with this, who are tired of this crap. That's why I've always kind of pushed back, black on black crime, which is a literal statistic, and you can use it, I think, in a correct way of analysis. But most, say, black folks in Montgomery hate this crap as much as white folks.
Sure.
Nobody wants this. And so it is, yes, it usually ends up being a young black men who are killing one another, and it's got to stop some way. Some of that is, you take back the streets, and they are fearful to do anything like that on the streets because you have police there. But then some of this is also all these other interventions that are talked about, and it does begin at home.
Yeah, and, we can try natural selection, which is what's going on now. Eventually, these people are going to kill each other, but that evolution moves a little slow for us. We're ready to get these damn problems solved now, don't you reckon, guys? And I watch Judge Knapp on Newsmax all the time, and your interview with him was fantastic, Joey. Really enjoyed it. Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you.
I think natural selection was disproven a while back. But
yeah, we got in that discussion on Friday, and it is fascinating. Like, I really love the work of David Berlinski, where he says Darwin wasn't like wrong in a full sentence, but he was not incomplete work. A lot of the origins questions, when you look at, say, the DNA code, it's too complex to be reduced down to sort of a natural selection mechanism. There's something else going on here. The Cambrian explosion also kind of defies certain logic. So you got to wonder what they'll come up with next.
Hopefully a solution, but not going to get my hopes up on that.
Yeah. Right.
Don't set yourself up for disappointment there.
272-9228.
Yeah, exactly.
This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy or sell, here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for over 40 years. It's getting close to 50, Bo. Yeah, getting close, almost to that half-century mark there at the Goodson Group. And so whether you're looking to buy or sell, or maybe you're looking to rent out your home, a rental investment still is a great idea in this market, in the River Region real estate market, especially with the military bases. There's a lot of turnover here. It can be a great idea, but you probably don't want to manage it yourself. And the Goodson Group can do that for you at a reasonable fee. And then the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs in the state because of Bo's 40-plus years of experience, and he shares it. Like, it's a very interactive course. He's not going to let you just sit there like a bump on the log. He's teaching you. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So check him out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give him a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. Red Top mentioned that Millbrook shooting, and here's a little clip from Alabama News Network talking about just that. Let's listen in. He said,
It's in Millbrook yesterday. She wasn't home, but her son and her 9-year-old grandson were. Valerie Franklin showed Action 8 her cell phone footage of the Millbrook Police Department looking for the scene for shell casings. She also showed and pointed out the bullet holes outside and inside her home. No one was hurt, but she says things could have been much worse. Franklin says she's asking for help from the police department about the guns being fired into their homes.
This morning, I got to wait till forensic science come back. You don't know when. You can't tell me nothing. So, I can see if you didn't have no evidence. Nothing that, and could pull up what you got, but you're not telling me anything. It's the same old, same old. Sometimes I wonder, I don't care who don't like it. Do anything ever get solved in Millbrooks? I'm tired of everybody putting it on the community when you know this is a known threat to this community. Millbrooks, we need your help. We need your help just like you need ours. And these people are afraid.
Yep. Well said by her.
Yeah.
And, we could keep going with Alabama News Network because they've got coverage of a lot of these things. Like, here's the story when it came to that, carjacking and the guy being held at gunpoint. Let's listen in.
Saturday night and robbed of his car. SD Morrison is live with this Action 8 News exclusive. It is tonight's big story. SD?
Turn down the music, hippie.
Daryl, heart-pounding moments for a family that's relatively new to Montgomery. The Phelps family moved here from Missouri a little over a year ago because of a job with the military. Their oldest son, Doc, is studying to be an electrician, and they never imagined that he would come face-to-face with the barrel of a gun when he left to run a quick errand just before 9 p.m. Saturday evening on the Eastern Boulevard. What started out as a quick trip to the gas station to grab some sodas for his dad and brothers turned into a life-changing moment for 18-year-old Doc Phelps.
Walked in, got my stuff, and then I saw him walking across through the corner of my eye, and so I hesitated a little bit.
As Doc walked...
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. Is that the Raceway or is that Chevron right there?
No, Joey, it looks...
It's hard to tell.
Kind of looks more like that Chevron.
Yeah. Well, this is the part we're playing it on the live stream, folks.
Kind of makes more sense, too.
This is where, and it's footage from outside the gas station, their security footage. Here's when it happened.
Walked out of the convenience store, a man with a blue bag over his head pulled out an assault rifle from his bag and started yelling at the teenager.
He saw me, turned around, pulled out his gun, and then came running out and told me to give him my keys.
Doc says he was just trying to stay calm so the robber wouldn't shoot him.
Just, I guess, give him the keys and just slowly walk away, trying to provoke anything. Because some people are just trigger happy out there.
Doc's mom, Corey, is thankful her son wasn't hurt, but she's horrified this happened.
Oh my gosh, it was an assault weapon. Like, how dare you, put an assault weapon in front of my son? It was scary, and now we're dealing with repercussions and having to teach what to do and what to watch out for. And we don't want to live in fear. That's not what God wanted us to do. He wants us to live happy. And this is not okay.
According to the Montgomery Sheriff's Department and the Montgomery Police Department, the man who stole Doc's 2004 Buick LeSabre crashed it less than an hour later around Highway 80 and Cantaloo Road, then robbed a man of his 2016 Chevrolet Colorado truck at gunpoint. The second victim's truck was found Sunday morning in Wilcox County, and the suspect is still on the loose.
He's like a serial robber, assaulting people, and that's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
But this is no surprise. We talk about this area right here all the time where you have vagrants. I mean, that's the whole reason. Remember, there used to be Cracker Barrel.
Far from where we're sitting right now.
There used to be a Cracker Barrel restaurant. All that's gone to hell and back. City's done nothing except let it get worse.
And just that, the report, there's been an update since that report. Captain Whitmore with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said that late Monday evening that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office charged a black male juvenile with robbery first. In reference to this case, he's currently being held in Wilcox County Jail. So they did get him. They did find him. But, wow.
I'd love to be able to follow his case because I guarantee he'll go in front of a judge and there'll be some family stuff in there going, well, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. We'll give him another chance. What happens when what is the line before they kill him? Because he's going to kill somebody. So what's
somebody's going to kill him?
So be it. But he's going to kill somebody.
I mean,
so what's the line? Do we stop him before then?
All right. So just from a common sense standpoint, this guy's walking around with an AK.
Right.
In his backpack.
Right. In backpack. With his backpack, bag on his face. He doesn't care about his identity. Also kind of an idiot. But if he wrecked one car just to go steal another, then he has no sense of respect for society. He doesn't belong in the world that we're in. I'm sorry.
I agree.
But he does not belong in our world.
I'm just upset that they don't make plastic bags the way that they used to.
And on that note, we got to hit our top of the hour break. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Standoffs between protesters and college officials appearing to be coming to a head now. In New York, Columbia University limiting campus access. That after hundreds of demonstrators took over a building earlier today. Police at the University of Connecticut making arrests after protesters refused to remove their tents. Police in North Carolina in a state of mourning. 4 law enforcement officers have been shot and killed, 4 others wounded. That in a shootout that began as they approached a house to serve a warrant for a felon wanted for possessing a firearm. Officials say the gunman was also killed. Donald Trump has been held in contempt of court. He's been fined $9,000 for violating a gag order. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of April, showers and thunderstorms will be roaming around here and there as a weakening frontal system is in the neighborhood. Not every town will get wet. Today's high 83, cloudy much of the day, improvement later. Mostly clear tonight, comfortable, overnight low 63. Sunshine, upper 80s on the first day of May tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Near 90 on Thursday, more sun. Risk of some widely scattered showers and storms returning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Check out our special spring savings on Kubota zero-turn mowers, like the Kubota Z411. At 10 miles an hour, it makes cutting around bushes, beds, and trees a breeze. Powering Alabama. Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Gunshots near Atlanta Highway in Montgomery caused damage to cars and businesses early Sunday morning. 5 people reported damage to their vehicles, and at least 5 businesses reported damage in the 3500 block of Eastdale Circle, where Planet Fitness, the Velvet Room, and other businesses are located. A Montgomery firefighter has been charged with false reporting and insurance fraud. Gail Cumby is accused of selling his UTV earlier this year, then reporting it as stolen. Court documents state he received compensation from his insurer. Cumby has been jailed on $10,000 bond. A federal judge has dismissed an organ harvesting lawsuit alleging officials with the Alabama Department of Corrections or a related entity removed and retained a dead inmate's organs. A spokesperson for the Alabama Attorney General's office remarked the lawsuit contained vague and conclusory allegations. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his pan. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Stop playing with it.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. That's the name of the YouTube channel, Joey Clark Live. Like and subscribe. Or you can watch on the X platform at the Joey Clark, or just search for us on Facebook. But let's be honest, Facebook kind of sucks.
Joey.
It's just Facebook is. I was talking to him earlier. I'm getting frustrated. Like, I write these op-eds, weekly columns for 1819 News. And I remember when we first started, before Facebook figured out what 1819 News was, I was getting hundreds of people liking, reacting. Hundreds. Some of the quote cards, thousands of people reacting. Now nobody sees it.
Ground that down.
Like good friends who we follow each other. Eddie doesn't see it.
I have to go looking for Joey's stuff.
It's absolutely, you put in work, you try to put out good product, and like you have these forces bigger than you, just like suppressing you.
Yeah, but even Budell, you have to go searching for his stuff.
It's
It's crazy.
That's why mostly I've gone to just posting stupid, wholesome memes, like two dogs hugging each other.
You have to confuse the algorithm.
You really do.
I mean, it sounds silly, but that's the only thing I know that works.
Misspelled words, spaces in between words, so that you can actually get your message out a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Previous people that sat behind these mics pointed that out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to Mac. Hey, Mac, how you doing, sir?
Great. It's good to hear y'all today and all the callers, and I appreciate all the comments. I'm an old head. I've been in law enforcement 38 years, so I've seen a lot of stuff and a lot of changes. And you were talking a few minutes ago about people taking pay cuts to go to other agencies.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest considerations for a law enforcement officer is the atmosphere he or she has to work in. And I'm seeing that every day. People will take that pay cut and benefit cuts to go to an agency where they know if they do their job and they have to do something out of the ordinary, you know exactly what I'm talking about, to enforce the law, that police chief or that sheriff is going to have their back and going to back them up. That means more than the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we're seeing every day. And don't forget about the Alabama legislature. Now, while they do some great work, two of the worst things they ever did was in 2014 pass the Class D felony law in an attempt to eliminate the prison overcrowding. Well, what that did is tied the hands of the judges and the prosecutors. And I had a case with 26 burglaries on one guy, 26. And because no one was at home at the time of those burglaries, all he got was community service and restitution, which they'll never get a penny of that.
Right.
And that's the way the law is written. And there have been numerous attempts by other legislators to change that because the criminals know that law. The guy that I got, he was being walked by our sheriff over to his court date, and he looked at the sheriff and said, "Hey, man, I like that new law." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm not going to get any time." He said, "Yeah, let them keep passing them in Montgomery. I like that." And he was exactly right. He didn't get anything. Broke into 26 homes just because no one was at home. Now, fast forward to 2 years ago when they passed that lenient Gun Act, which Representative Reed Ingram has introduced a bill to try to correct that, and Sheriff Derek Cunningham is really pushing that, which ties the hands of law enforcement, puts law enforcement in the most dangerous position possible, and the public, because it's a bad law. Every sheriff in the state of Alabama, every district attorney in the state of Alabama opposed that law, but it passed anyway. So, it's gotten as bad as I've ever seen it in 38 years. Excuse me. You got to be able to depend on your chief or sheriff to support you in what you do, as long as you're doing your job right. And you've got to have laws where you can protect the public, protect the victims, and protect yourself as a law enforcement officer.
Matt, do you remember who or how the law in 22 came to be? Who pushed it?
I don't remember. It was really lobbied by a bunch of organizations for open carry and so forth in that regard. But what has happened, the criminal has taken advantage of that law, not the honest people that want to carry a gun to protect themselves and their family, but the criminal has benefited more than anyone from that law, and that's why Sheriff Cunningham and many others and Representative Reed Ingram are trying to change that.
You can trust Reed. Reed's a good guy. He'll do it.
Yeah.
How does this really help law enforcement? Because I supported that law. And how does a permit for concealed carry stop what we're seeing right now?
Well, at least you know that there's some background information already on file for that officer. And when he runs that background check or he runs that tag number, he learns that they have a concealed carry. He knows that person most criminals are not going to get a concealed carry permit. We know that. Everybody knows that. And for every sheriff in the state, for every district attorney in the state to oppose that spoke volumes to me. And as an old head, I'd much rather. And it's not about the money of the concealed carry. The counties can make up for that in other areas. Yeah, it hurt them for buying. Most of the counties spent that money for a body armor and things for their officers. But it wasn't about the money. It was making it's more dangerous for the officer. It's more dangerous for the officer because you don't have that record. And I know people argue, well, it's taking a constitutional right away. Again, the criminal is going to take advantage of laws like that, not the law-abiding citizen.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate it, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
272-9228. Let's go to Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Joey, I tell you, I feel this way about this situation. Until we start making these idiots pay for their crimes instead of trying to negotiate with them when they go to court on what we can do to get them off or have them serve the easiest amount of time, this is not going to change. It's going to be, it's just going to keep on climbing. And until we get rid of some of these judges and these attorneys that support these criminals, it's a sad situation.
Yep.
Because nobody this day and time can get out and do anything without having the thought come to their mind that they could be shot or they could be attacked, like that young man at the convenience store, things like that. Just everyday, just doing everyday things. You could put your life on the line, but I think what we need to do is instead of, it's like those officers, those four guys that got killed yesterday and the other ones that got shot. They killed the one that came out in the front yard. What they should have done, they should have wounded him, took him, arrested him or whatever you want to call it, put him in jail, and within 48 to 72 hours, they should have executed him. Until we start executing some of these people and making examples out of them, these people, they know that they're going to get off. And that's the reason why they continue to do what they do. It's sad. It really
Pretty
is.
hardcore suggestion. Appreciate it, Charlie.
Charlie 1, due process 0.
Yeah, well, here's where I'm coming
Frustration
from.
level, though.
No, I hear where he's coming from, but let's not go down that road. Where I'm troubled is I look at like all these silly ass laws we have at the state and federal level, where we're spending billions at the state level, trillions at the national level, and we can't enforce damn basic rules. When people violate persons or property, we can't enforce it. What the heck are we doing? Why are we spending all this money? So we got all these social experiments over, well, if we do this and that, and we get to the roots of poverty, all this stuff like that. No, how about you enforce basic rules of justice and stop spending all our money on these silly-ass programs that only enrich upper middle class folks that aren't actually solving the problem? I'm tired of everything being this jobs program.
You're cute. You actually still believe that politicians, or as a whole, actually want to...
I will jump across the stage. I will strangle you right now.
Something and achieve,
I will strangle you right now.
It's adorable.
Truth is raining down on Joey Clark.
Like, don't get me started. I've been calling for essentially abolishing the government now for years, and nobody wants to hear it. Oh, no, we'll vote in the right people. You're preaching to the choir, brother.
I just love poking you.
I know, well, phrasing, we can...
No,
I'm
securing myself enough to say that.
Pulling my chain?
Poking the Joey.
That's even...
Poking the Joe.
Yeah. A little inappropriate there.
Let's go to Eric the dog. Oh, goodness gracious, that's not the right line. Eric the dog.
Yo, Eric, what's up, buddy?
Is that Craig Munger in there?
No.
No, this is Byron.
This is Byron.
Is
What's up, Eric?
He's got the same attitude. I like it.
He's a little bit taller than Craig. He's actually taller
well,
than
you
me,
know.
I think.
How big of a boy are you?
Great line.
I didn't know they stacked that high. I have a problem. I like the police in general. I support them. I don't think people ought to be shooting at them and being disrespectful to them. But this argument that I hear from law enforcement and public official types, well, we need to do these background checks on you to make sure you're okay to have a gun. All the background check you need to do on me is go back to 1776, whip out that old document right there, and read that. And the Bill of Rights that came after, I don't know the exact date on that one. Forgive me, but that's a problem. You think basically what they're telling us is that if these laws were enforced properly, that people wouldn't end up with guns that weren't supposed to have them. Because I know the criminals that I know, they're like, I was going to rob that convenience store, but I was out of mask.
Right.
And I mean,
just out of touch, Eric. The laws are for you and me and Joey, for people that are going to go by the laws. Just like that stupid conference they had, that nonviolence conference they had here a week or two ago when they had gunshots throughout the city. But hey,
yeah,
like the mayor said at the end of the conference, it's a good thing we had that conference. We need to have more of these conferences. We'll do it in another damn city. We can't afford the loss of life here. These conferences, these meetings, these laws, they do nothing for criminals. Criminals don't give a crap. Like Byron's example, had the guy was laughing, said, "I love these new laws you got."
Can we start a?
They'd like to make it to where you can. They'd like to make it to where you can identify a criminal because he has a weapon, and therefore you can start with an aggressive stance from there. And I'm being hyperbolic, okay? But the simple fact of the matter is, whether I have a pistol or don't have a pistol is none of your concern if I'm not breaking the law or being suspected of a crime, and being suspicious and all that crap. It just aggravates me when I hear people say, "Well, if they do background checks and have a concealed carry, we wouldn't have these problems." Yes, you would. You've been had them. Open carry and concealed carry are relatively new laws on the books in the state of Alabama without permit, right?
Yeah. Well, I guarantee that guy at the Chevron the other night, he didn't have a permit, but he still had a gun.
Oh, what? No.
Shocking, I know. Guaranteed it was probably a stolen gun.
It was probably clipped to the front of the gun with this gun used to belong to, and here's the serial number. And
Well, also, I think it might help, you stop somebody in traffic. Oh, you notice a gun. Do you have a permit? No, I get to confiscate your weapon. And, look at your record, and you're in a lot of trouble. But all this stuff we were talking about for the weeks now here in Montgomery, but all over the nation, this is not a solution.
Right.
Concealed carry permits is not
the solution.
And that's what's so frustrating to me is you're bringing up one thing that you didn't want passed anyway. And you're like, see, look at all this stuff. All this stuff was happening before when we still had the permits.
Yeah.
It was going up anyway.
They wanted to fix this. It's going to take years, and it's going to have to start at the house. Because that's where your problem is.
Well, it's going to have to start with some hard decisions that people don't want to make. You're going to have to arrest some people you don't want to arrest. You're going to have to keep some people in jail. You're going to have to piss some people off. That's how it happens, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you put everybody in a protected class, unless they're white, male, and heterosexual, it kind of narrows down the field that you're allowed to abuse. I'm just saying. That's you can't act like they act and then think things are going to get better. This battle starts at the house between the parent and the child, or the parents and the children, and it grows from there. And then who do you send your kid to? Where's your kid spend all the time? Where are they getting all this jazz from? Who's in their ear? It ain't you. It ain't you. I very seriously doubt parents are around here going, "All right, son, take this AK-47 down here,
right?
And I'm going to need me a new LS-400 down there.
Yeah, you'd be
do the best you can. Low miles.
All right. Well,
dumb, man.
Well, Eric, you like baseball? I'm just trying
I like
to
gladiators.
You like, yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, you fruity little. I appreciate it, Eric. 272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing, and they're at Cole Plumbing. James and the team are ready to help you with any of your plumbing problems, especially if you have a big old leak inside or outside the home. Now, a lot of folks are worried, they're going to have to tear out a bunch of drywall, dig up a huge hole. Nope, not with Cold Plumbing.
That's right, Joey.
They can get the job done with precision and expertise with this proprietary pipelining technology they have there at Cold Plumbing. And of course, they can help you with everyday plumbing problems from low water pressure to a clogged drain, maybe even have like tree root invasion or a gas line leak. Not many people do, but if you have a basement around here and your sump pump stops working, especially when it rains, that's a problem.
That's a
Cold
big
Plumbing
problem.
can fix it. Or maybe your problem is you just want nicer things. Well, they can help you upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system, or you want to get real fancy like a bidet or a Japanese toilet or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Cold Plumbing, they can do it all there with all your plumbing needs. 279-8919 is their number. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is former Alabama Supreme Court Justice Glenn Murdoch. Alabama is a great place to live and work and raise our families because Alabamians are a good people of faith and traditional values. But a huge gambling bill in Montgomery would change our culture forever. Neon light casinos bringing more crime to our big cities and small towns, highly addictive cell phone betting, and the state selling the lie of lottery riches to the poor and most vulnerable. With all that's wrong in the world, this is no time to give up on our traditional values in Alabama. Call and ask your senator to be the leader you elected them to be, to stand strong and vote no on gambling, and keep the Alabama we know and love. Thank you.
Call your senator at 334-261-0800, 334-261-0800, 334-261-0800. Paid for by Alabama Eagle Forum, Box 130757, Birmingham.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the River region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. I'm Joey. He's Eddie with the turquoise dog shirt on.
Good looking shirt.
It is. And then we have Byron Sheehy here in the studio as well. And you had a point of privilege you wanted to use?
Yes. Happy birthday, Marcy. Hope it's a great day. Got a friend who's turning an undisclosed age today.
Oh, happy birthday. I like that. And there's a fellow that follows me on Twitter. We were going back and forth this morning. I believe his name is Mason Clark, and it's his birthday today. He's listening, I believe, out of Mississippi.
Y'all related? You and them Clarks, man.
No, I don't know if we're related, but I think we're both fairly libertarian.
I got you.
But I appreciate you listening, Mason, and happy birthday, man. 2729228. You know, while we're covering all this very serious stuff at the local level, this is the silly ass stuff going on in the national news. Take it away, Drew Barrymore.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous
She's talking to Kamala Harris.
hug in the world right now. But in our country, we need you to be mamala of the country.
No! Who are the clapping seals cheering that?
Drew Barrymore did lots of drugs back in the 80s.
You can tell.
Let's not forget that.
Was that a laugh track or was that real?
No, that was them.
Hey, that's a live studio.
Unfortunately, studio audience.
Okay.
Well, here.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. But in our country, we need you to be mamala of the country.
Well, we have the great grandpa already typecast, so
don't we?
Right. You know, we got people dying in different parts of the world. Two kind of major wars going on. Can we get Kamala to hug a corpse? What in the world is that sort of crap?
Everybody's got a price, Joey. I guess Drew Barrymore, I'm sure, got a check just like Howard
I just
Stern
want
did.
the nation to crawl back up inside the womb and be comfortable.
Just because you have a TV show doesn't mean you got any common sense.
But on the positive note, it still proves that we're the greatest country on earth because this lady can accomplish all these great things.
That's
And
a
if she
very
can do
good
that,
point.
Then what are we doing?
Heck yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm glad you're here. Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke.
What's happening, Duke?
Oh man, I've been listening to you guys talk about this crime and shooting. Mr. Joey, what's up?
What's up?
I mean, you've been going back and forth, time and time again, every once in a while. I like when the officer came on and made his point about that, but it seemed it went over you guys' head a little bit, some kind of way.
No, it didn't. I just don't think that would actually solve the problem.
I didn't go over my head. I just didn't agree with him and didn't feel like arguing.
All right, let me tell you something. How would you feel if you walking across? It happened to me. If you had a business here in town, you're walking across the parking lot, go get back in your car. A young boy rushed across the parking lot towards somebody else, had a gun in his hand, long gun, and I just threw my hand up in the air. I said, "Hey, don't shoot me." Now let me get in the car. He thought that was funny. He said, "Old school said, oh, they let him go." But, I just went on. Then I'm pulling up at a gas station. Guy got a rifle thrown across his shoulder, got a mask on his face, and I know the law says you can have your gun walking around with it, but in this day society, people, just walking up, shooting up businesses, and you got the kids going shooting up schools and malls, and saying you just walking around with a gun. I gotta keep my eye on you, so I don't want to feel uncomfortable everywhere I go when somebody posted up with a gun, standing out.
Well, it's the gun ain't the problem because you want people with guns to stop the other people with guns.
Keep it hid, man. Don't just hop up with it, just walking around with it. Hell, I gotta watch you while I pump my gas or whatever I'm doing. I gotta watch you the whole time, 'cause I don't know when you might snap or you may be come there to do some damage with that gun. Well, reason standing out there to start with.
Maybe go to a gas station where those guys ain't hanging out.
Man.
You ever think of
What
that?
now?
Maybe go to a gas station with the guy they don't have the gun hanging out. Maybe go to another gas station.
I've seen it all over the city. It's nationwide, dude.
I hadn't seen it in quite a while.
These cats so bold. You're going to see it eventually. You're going to see it eventually because they got video.
So you think the police could effectively enforce gun constraints and regulations, gun control laws, but these are the same folks that can't, in a court system to boot, that can't actually punish murderers and armed thieves.
I get all that. I get all that right there. But these guys out here they're out here on the ground, boots on the ground. They police officers are. Okay? You got to deal with these guys these guys don't mind shooting you. These 16, 17-year-old boys, they shoot. The more you down there, the second.
Yeah.
So if they mow down the police, they posted up at a gas station. Somebody gonna mouth off at one of them one day. They all over the city. You just haven't seen it yet. And it's coming to your place near you, Millbrook and Prattville and we too. Y'all think you guys are safe, but they're small cities that where they spraying up people's houses. Back home, they spraying up people's houses, drive by and all that. They did it before this law came in, doing all this crazy stuff. So when they found out the law had passed and all that, you know,
why do you keep putting it on this law?
I mean, nothing.
It didn't help things. I thought by everybody having a gun, it's supposed to slow it down.
This law didn't tell everyone they could have a gun.
Yeah, I heard some of the people that were trying to push it through saying, hey, if everybody had a gun, if my ass. But you know, keep it as is, okay? See how far we get.
Okay.
Everybody can be locked out in their house and have to order.
So you want to be able to decide who and who cannot have the gun.
I don't want to be trapped inside, you know, walking around in fear.
So how do you enforce deciding who can have the gun?
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to agree with you.
But make sense.
How would you enforce your idea, Duke?
Kill that stupid law and tell people to go get a permit, and that'll help a lot of it. And this open carry crap counts that open
That'll stop this behavior
all the
if
way.
you just a sheriff's permit.
Well, it'll make me feel safe and make a lot more people feel safe.
See, but this is the problem with this conversation. It's always a gun regulation that doesn't actually solve the freaking problem.
No, you got it out. You got it out walking around like an idiot, you know. And these boys will shoot you. These boys here don't play. So that's what we want. Y'all can have at it. I don't want it.
No, we just want to do something that makes us feel a certain way. It doesn't actually solve the issue.
We all got it.
How you going to deal with it, Joe? How will you deal with it? Your family pull up to a gas station. It's going to happen now.
Well, I don't go to the. I never go to the gas stations on Eastern Boulevard, and I never go to the gas stations at Ann Street. How about that?
All out the East Chase, sweetheart. They're out there, honey. I've seen them out there, too. That's why I've seen a couple of them at, okay?
Well, if you see, have you bothered to report the crime? Because you can't brandish a gun.
It's not a crime.
It's a crime to brandish a gun. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Hanging out.
If he's brandishing that gun,
why are you so dumb on this? Why are you so stupid on this?
I'm not stupid on them.
On this, you're very, very stupid.
Nope. I don't trust people walking around with guns. Hey, y'all crazy as hell nowadays out here walking around.
And so who's going to enforce the laws that you want enforced?
I don't want to have mine. I don't want to strap mine on every time I pull up to the station. Strap mine on just hey, this guy may get stupid. Hell, I don't want to live like that.
Well, dude, that's where we are, man. I mean, until we turn this thing around, that's where we are.
They need to change that crap back. I didn't see it till this law was passed.
Okay, now you've gone from stupid to dumbass. Get off the phone.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. No, you started to see a rise in crime as we started to see a fall in policing. All around the nation. It's like controlled experiments all over the place.
And they're not working, by the way.
And go to places, Duke, where they have very stringent gun laws. How are those working out?
Well, see, in England yesterday, or it might have been this morning, they had a guy walk around with a sword who killed a 13-year-old and then swiped the sword at several other bystanders. So he didn't have a gun, but he had a sword.
Yeah, I don't fall in line with that rationale. I mean, I get your point, but if we replace guns with knives, the murder rate would go down tremendously.
Sure, but the violent act is still going to be there.
They are still going to be there. So
you take my gun.
It's the individual, right?
Yeah,
so we're talking about legislating morality or
right, which you can't do.
Exactly.
You cannot legislate morality.
Exactly.
So,
whoever the gentleman was that said it starts around the home or the dinner table or whatever it was he used to describe it. He's 100% correct.
Was it like a broadsword or a samurai sword?
It just said a sword.
A katana. I mean,
it could have been.
It was England, so I figured it was one of the big swords from the knights.
No, but like, go to major cities. Like I think they're pretty stringent laws, say in Illinois. I think they're pretty in Chicago. Pretty stringent laws in D.C.
Well, one of the homeless people who hang out on one of the bypasses.
I know.
You know, he's got he goes by Thor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got the makeshift samurai sword or whatnot.
Right. Well, but then people go, how do you deal with this? I believe New York City was a mess under Dinkins.
Oh yeah.
And there's a guy named Rudy Giuliani who
Yeah,
you can't really cite him as much these days.
He gets far too much credit for that.
How do you think that changed? But because it did change in New York.
Without getting into the weeds of it,
Sure.
I think reading some of the Freakonomics might point out some interesting, some other parallels that were happening that impacted it maybe 18, 20 years later.
So, like, investment or... I don't know what you mean by Freakonomics.
This is a whole nother episode.
Okay.
I'll tell you during the break.
Okay.
And then we'll see if you want to kick that can over.
Right. It's just it's like we're back in the same position. And hey, maybe you want more stringent gun laws. Again, how are you going to enforce them if you don't have people that want to show up to work to police in your city?
This is a circular argument.
Right. Exactly. That's my frustration.
But to your point, the buck's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
You get leadership, then you can...
Well, can we rely on our elected officials?
Can we rely on the voters? I mean, we keep putting the same people back in power.
What we need is a hero.
You want some truth syrup?
But we need a hero that can do the dirty work. Just like Shane, he has to leave when the dirty work's done. That's what we want.
He loves that movie, by the way.
Shane.
I've watched a lot of movies. I've never watched Shane.
Breaks Eddie's heart every time.
Classic West.
I know what happens at the end, but
Shane.
Got to hit this break. But first, as part of the program, in fact, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. You've been working with those folks a lot, Eddie,
In
right?
fact, I was talking to a couple of folks over there today. I believe our good friend Madeline's going to be back on the show next Tuesday with us as well.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, and she's been helping out a couple of my clients. A couple of them have been first-time home buyers. So, of course, when I have a first-time home buyer, my job is to kind of get them excited about buying the home. But when it comes to financing, I turn them over to Madeline and Kim. And literally within about a half hour later, I get a call back, and they know more about first-time homeowner financing than I'll ever know. These people are absolutely some of the best to work with, and they're local. And we talk about pre-approval letters. When you're out shopping for a home, and you want to put an offer, if you don't have a pre-approval letter, you are behind the 8 ball already.
Yep.
And one of the great things about Madeline and Kim, I've called them up on a Sunday afternoon that had a buyer that lost their pre-approval letter. They couldn't find it. So I was able to call Madeline and say, hey, can you find this customer's pre-approval letter and send it back to me? And she was within like 20 minutes. These people work, man. They work hard. I absolutely love them.
So, folks, whether you're looking to buy or refinance, which can help you with a great refinance deal as well, especially in this economy. Again, as we keep saying, don't make decisions about, say, your home based on national, international headlines. You got to think about your own financial situation and what's best for you. And the pros there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim and Madeline, can help you do just that. So give them a call today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, spring is already here.
Oh, I'm so glad to. I'm tired of being cold. With spring, we're starting to bring out the wicker furniture. We are getting in the iron outdoor furniture and just a lot of things that's just going to brighten your day.
Now, if somebody needs some furniture for their home, you have a good selection, don't you?
If there's any furniture that you can't find anywhere else, come to Eastbrook because we have a wonderful selection of solid, good, heavy furniture at excellent prices. Actually better than you're going to find anywhere else. Just come see us and walk around all 3 floors and let's help you out to fill up those living rooms and dining rooms and bedrooms, but we've got it all.
Do you have any booth space available this time?
I have booth space available, so come see us.
All right, give us those hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday is 9 until 6, and Sunday 12:30 to 4:30.
Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of April, showers and thunderstorms will be roaming around here and there as a weakening frontal system is in the neighborhood. Not every town will get wet. Today's high 83, cloudy much of the day, improvement later. Mostly clear tonight, comfortable, overnight low 63. Sunshine, upper 80s on the first day of May tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Near 90 on Thursday, more sun. Risk of some widely scattered showers and storms returning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. You know, all this craziness, all these shootings going on, war abroad, the politicians are just untrustworthy because they're bought and paid for, and they don't even want to be, but that's how the game is played. But really, at the end of the day, what we need in this country, take it away, Drew Barrymore.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. But in our country, we need you to be mamala of the country.
You can't help but feel like you're making fun of somebody that's a little bit special. Maybe you should reconsider that.
Is she touched?
A little bit. From all the drugs and stuff.
Okay. But I think that's a perfect example of the mentality where we have real problems and there are folks who are like, we just need to get along and have hugs.
You've got a very valid point. There's no doubt.
And Joe Biden will save us, or Kamala will save us, or Trump will save us. No, this is the trick they're playing on you.
Yes.
This is the trick they play every 4 years, every 6 years for senators. They're a different breed.
Whole different breed.
Yeah, they're different.
That's a whole different kind of thing we're taking.
Anyway, 272-9228. Let's go to East of the Rockies. Okay. Hey, East, how you doing?
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to let you know the city of Montgomery sent the police out and got a panhandler at Federal and Coliseum to move along. I had to rub my eyes to see if that was really happening.
You must have had a permit.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Yes. So let's hope this is the beginning of a new thing. Although the guy on Ann Street's still there with the bicycle upside down. But I feel for these guys. They get run over, man. And it's so avoidable. But the police actually did their job today, and so I'm giving them kudos.
Well, all right.
Good to hear.
All right. Hey.
I think we lost him.
Oh,
yeah, we lost him.
Dadgummit. 272-9228. Let's go to Mr. Pink.
Hey, Mr. Pink.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
I woke up and chose violence today, man.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I got an idea, and I could be wrong, so you guys let me know I'm off base. I'm off kill. I think a solution would be to bring back the Black Panther Party. The reason I say that, because you bring in certain cops from Colorado, wherever, they might not really care about, getting there, solving some problems, stopping something. But if you deputize the people that's in the communities, like in certain places that get robbed, and in certain houses that do not get robbed, because these dads and men are outside, we all have guns. Everybody, I believe everybody got at least about $10,000 worth of guns and 1,000 rounds to each gun. I believe that. I think we need to, I think they're a terrorist group or something, bring it back and let the black community handle the black community. And I mean, if you kill somebody you don't supposed to kill, hey, you get to do the same thing the cops do. You got to be accountable, But how do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, honestly, doesn't bother me. Though you might want to do some rebranding.
Yeah, the whole vigilante justice sort of thing, that's a slippery slope, I believe.
Well, how do I know? You know, that might be, I don't know. I'm just doing a little spin right now. How do I know they're not just one of the for the feed the kids and self-defense? Like, why can't it just be that?
Oh, it should be.
I'm all for something like that. And in fact, in Detroit, they went to I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he started up private security for certain neighborhoods and certain businesses, and that seemed to actually be effective when the municipal police wouldn't show up. There are other ways. Yeah, I think there are so-called gun clubs and teaching people to not only be responsible with their weapon, but be responsible in general in life. And I've seen one guy who's a big libertarian. He's big on Twitter, named Maj Touré, who's fantastic on that. I think he's in Philly right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how many cops there are, like 400, 500 cops. They're over for I don't know how many people, but we need people to police their own areas, like back in 1900, right at 1900, you know.
Wait, they're going to start calling you an insurrectionist.
Yeah.
You're talking about militias?
Yeah.
And there's a reason it's in the Constitution.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. Like me and my friends, we all, like I said, we carry hard now. The young guys that's walking around with the AR-15s and the AK, they call them the Dracos because they don't have the stock. You know, they're walking around with these rifle pistols, you know,
right,
all down in the pants and stuff. They say yes, sir, to us. I'm gonna just be like that. They say yes, sir. You know, there's no problem. You see, you have to. You can't intimidate me. You know, I got what you got. I got the same rights that you got. You know, so we come together as a strong force and say we're not gonna take this anymore. Like, what can you do about this? What can you do? The cowards are gonna run.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like I'm tough, but strength in numbers, man.
100%.
There you go.
You ain't got to be tougher. You just got to be a little crazier.
Yeah, I'm not detecting anything I disagree with in this call, Mr. Pink.
Okay. Well, you know, people got families and children, and that's something to be crazy about. So.
Amen.
Right. Mess with a man's family. That's the number one rule.
Right.
Do not mess with a
Man,
man's
sometimes you
family.
wake up and choose violence.
Sometimes it chooses
Sometimes
you.
you do.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to put that out there, just as a solution.
Hey, thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Pink.
sir. 272-9228. I say that and then just rips that off. Freaked me out for a second.
Joey, that's your Constitution. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's the Fourth Amendment. Can we get rid of the next one? All right. Is this who's on 4?
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Douglas. Are you there, Mr. Douglas?
Sure.
Yes. I was wanting to report from Columbiana University.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, this is Sam. I'm just having a good time listening to y'all. Y'all doing great, man. Y'all do fantastic.
Thank you, Sam.
You really do. Hey, did that sound pretty good?
That was pretty good, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
with no
good.
clue who it was. Sounded like Mr. Haney to me.
Right.
I met that guy several times. I forgot his name anyway, but he probably forgot mine because he passed away. But anyway, what's the deal on the gun? I just picked up a few minutes ago. What's the deal on the guns? I mean, I have one little single shot 22 in my arsenal.
Yep.
So you can tell how big that is.
Yeah. Well, they're wanting to bring back the permit again. There's, I think, Reed Ingram putting a bill forward where we want to bring back the permit, so you don't have constitutional carry anymore. And some people are for that. Some people are against it. Some people are for it. Some people are against it.
I'm not going to frame it that way. I'm going to say that Reed wants to actually get a little tougher on crime, because that's essentially what we're trying to do here. You know, it's not take rights away from law-abiding citizens.
But
as
what are we
we've all-
doing?
We're
Taking rights away from law-abiding citizens?
I hope that we're developing a way that we can actually make it more manageable for law enforcement, so that every person they encounter, they don't have to worry if they are actually carrying AK-47.
Sure.
Yeah, good luck with that, brother.
Yeah, cross fingers and toes, right?
I mean, But you're generalizing it. I thought we're innocent until proven guilty, right? I would think that when he saw me, he would instantly think of rainbows and flowers long before he'd ever think I might have an AK-47.
I know, but the whole you waving the AK-47 thing around, that would...
Oh, yeah, now that was going to trigger something,
That
yeah.
might, lend to
I
the
think
other
that's
side of the
actually
coin.
illegal,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's brandishing.
Right.
You know, I don't know anything about those big guns. I just have the little 22 short rifle.
As long as you
anyway,
keep the one you got, Sam, you should be okay.
You think? All right. So anyway, no, I'm kind of in this little loop of circle of gun dealers. I mean, I'm just like I said, I got a little 22. That's about it. But nevertheless, there's so many things. Like I was in Troy the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy came out with a 10-inch pistol, an AR pistol, 10.5 inch.
Okay.
And he had a 45-degree hand stock on the front. And I said, brother, you better hope the ATF come in.
Yep.
Why? Because you think you can get arrested.
Yep.
No. I said, all right, that's fine. Well, I got a call 3 days later, and they confiscated that gun and cleaned house on a
Yep,
lot.
everything else he's got. Yep. Give him a reason.
I was trying to be helpful. He said, as long as I have this, or either my 45-degree angle on the front. But anyway, listen, this deal in Colombia, this is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it starts at home. It really starts at home. And I hate to be just, old-fashioned. You call me what you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, these kids that are up there right now, they don't even know what river and what sea it goes to. They'd probably say the P River to Choctawhatchee Bay. Instead of from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean. They ain't got a clue. Oops, hang on a minute. Get off the road.
Hold on, who's this?
Dr. Sam.
You know what it is. But nevertheless, I'm listening to your show. You guys are fantastic. I'll try to possibly shoot a 300-yard with a 22 shell, maybe a long. But anyway, y'all have a great day.
You too, Sam.
Y'all magnificent job. Adios to you. I love you.
See you, big man.
Listen, hey, Dr. Sam's got to be from around my neck of the woods. He said the P River and the Choctawhatchee.
He's kind of giving away location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the river to the sea. Yeah, that's a lovely slogan, ain't it?
Yeah.
Dr. Sam and I would probably drink a very hot natty light together.
Oh, no doubt.
Something like that. Let's go to Robin. Hey, Robin.
Hey, I was calling in. I have just tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just tuned in long enough to hear your guest today say they weren't trying to take gun rights away, that they were just trying, to help law enforcement, make sure everybody's permitted to carry that is carrying. And I just have one question. First of all, is that accurate? Is that what he said?
Yeah, pretty.
Paraphrase.
Yeah.
Okay. My question for him would be, how many criminals does he believe is going to go get that permit?
Oh, zero. Absolutely
Okay,
zero.
so the only people it is affecting and taxing, basically, is lawful people, lawful gun owners.
Ma'am, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but the way that I look at it is I'm not as educated to make a determination on good policy or bad policy on that. In an ideal world, I am a very strong Second Amendment supporter. But when I have every sheriff and every top law enforcement official in the state saying that this is bad, that this is going to cause problems, that this is going to make it harder for their people to do their jobs, I'm going to defer to them. Not,
What is
not
going
a
to
lot
make it harder for them?
That I can't necessarily answer, but I know that they were uniform, lockstep in speaking out against this.
This was over the legislature passed it, I guess, in 2022. They got rid of the permits for concealed carry. And there are a lot of sheriffs and law enforcement, as Byron just said, who would like that back.
so law enforcement wants us to be permitted to carry.
Concealed carry, yeah.
Okay, concealed carry.
Mhm.
Okay, that's where I was going with that, because I feel like even though law enforcement deals with it day in and day out, for anyone to believe that a criminal that has criminal intent is going to go out and get a permit, somehow making law enforcement and others safer, I think that's a very idealistic belief, because I don't know one person that's on, death row for shooting people. Probably none of those went out and got permits for their guns. So I don't know how it makes other people safer. That was just my whole point. Whenever I heard him say that it makes people safer, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, how? Because I don't know criminals that go permit their thing.
No,
and then all it's going to do is...
To clarify, I do believe that I hope that the intent would be to make people safer. I don't even know if it would actually do that. But again, when every top law enforcement official, sheriff, cops, all the way up to the state, when they're against that because of their employees and the jobs that they're going to have to perform and how it's going to make it harder for them to do those jobs safely, I'd like to at least hear their side of the story.
Well, Robin, I'm out of time here, but I appreciate the call. Really,
Thanks for the call, Robin.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Told you we have women listeners. I know no one believes us, but we get one or two a week at least that call in. So,
well, I stepped out of line as you guys.
That's what it takes sometimes to get women to call in.
272-9228, ladies. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, get ready, ladies. Two things can, affect men the most as we mature. Erectile dysfunction.
That's one.
And a more generalized problem could be low testosterone.
That's usually the other.
And, guys can be shy, upset, embarrassed about this stuff, but don't be, and don't wait to get it fixed. I know you hate going to the doctor. A lot of guys don't like going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of fellas who are kind of hesitant to go. And no, this was created just for you.
That's right.
And, hey, guys, the reality is these pills often quit working.
Yeah.
And guys can start making excuses for coming to bed. I learned this from Montgomery Men's Health. There are actually studies now that show that men will create arguments on purpose right before bedtime. They'll become more irritable and argumentative just to avoid failing at intimacy. So guys, if you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, including sex drive, you just always feel tired, seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they also have low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even noticed an increased libido.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And you can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. What was that sound I just made? Yeah.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Authorities in North Carolina still sorting out how 4 officers were killed, 4 others wounded in Charlotte yesterday. They do know the officers were at a severe disadvantage when immediately faced with gunfire from an upstairs position in a home. Investigators say the officers were trying to arrest a man with a gun crime. The man, Terry Clark Hughes, also died. Negotiations between protesters and college administrators at Columbia appear now to have failed. Officials in New York say limited campus access after demonstrators have taken over a key building. Labor Department says pay and benefits for America's workers grew more quickly in the first 3 months of this year, a trend that could continue to contribute to high inflation. This is SRN News.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. It's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnau, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text FAITH to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of April, showers and thunderstorms will be roaming around here and there as a weakening frontal system is in the neighborhood. Not every town will get wet. Today's high 83, cloudy much of the day, improvement later. Mostly clear tonight, comfortable, overnight low 63. Sunshine, upper 80s on the first day of May tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Near 90 on Thursday, more sun. Risk of some widely scattered showers and storms returning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
This spring, mow with a flow with a Kubota zero-turn mower. John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Kubota Z232 puts power where you need it, when you need it. Save now with our spring specials. Powering Alabama, Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
The Alabama House is poised to pass a bill that would extend the deadline here in Alabama when it comes to submitting certified presidential candidate names for the upcoming November election. The bill is being offered by Alabama Democrats in order to benefit the Democratic National Convention. Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen made it known to all parties involved that the deadline in the state for the certified candidate's name is August 15th. However, the DNC National Convention is not being held until August 19th. The House bill would change the certification days before the November election from 82 to 74, which essentially extends that deadline past the DNC convention. House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter says the bill is expected to pass the House. However, he just doesn't know when it will be placed on the floor for a vote. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
A man from Fairhope is facing charges for trying to rob an Arby's restaurant with a BB gun. Police say that 23-year-old Preston Norton pointed what appeared to be a pistol at an Arby's worker in the Gulf Shores restaurant. That worker fled out of the back of the store. Preston was then tracked down a few blocks away, and the BB gun was also discovered. Alabama A&M University is making a play for the Birmingham Southern College campus. The university, located in Huntsville, has revealed this week that officials are developing a purchase offer to BSC, which will come out in the next few weeks. Birmingham Southern will be closing its doors at the end of May after efforts to get a bailout loan from the state of Alabama fell through. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bells Cleaning Service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bells because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and Clear Skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the final hour of News and Views in the afternoon. Of course, we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation, it's 334-272-9228. And let's go to Josh. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
It's actually Scott.
Oh, Scott.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm sorry, Eddie's supposed to know me, but
I
he
should.
got me since he sold my house.
What have you done for me lately? That's all I got to say, Scott.
I was going to bring you a cheeseburger, but then I changed my
Oh,
mind.
man. I could really use a cheeseburger right now, too.
Right?
Anything to fill that fat mouth.
I've been thinking about the permit thing, and I
Yeah.
got it figured out.
What you got?
Okay. All right. Everybody's supposed to have a driver's license anyway. So why don't we just put an endorsement on the driver's license, kind of like if the police pull me over, they can look at my license and see that I'm supposed to have glasses on. So we put an endorsement on the back of your license that says you're not a criminal. You are allowed to have a weapon. Whether you want one or not is your choice. You're not paying an additional tax for a permit. You're going to get a license every 4 years anyway. And then kind of problem solved, right?
So,
yeah.
Doesn't sound bad at all, Scott.
Wait, you definitely are not in the legislature, Scott. That doesn't make sense.
It's actually got a little common sense behind it. So.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that's
Because I'm
really
from
good, too.
Titus.
That's right. It's another Titus guy. It's in the water up there, boys.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, that's all I had. Just
No,
right
that's
down
good,
the road.
Scott.
You guys banter it back and forth, and just seems simple to me, so probably won't never happen.
Yeah, it sounds too simple. Sounds like it might work.
Yeah, tenfold.
All right, man.
All right,
Appreciate
Eddie,
it, man.
well, bring me some donuts next time you get out.
We'll do it, man. See you, Scott.
Sounds like a good guy.
Oh, he's a great dude. Him and his wife, Janet, solid people.
Well, let's go to another good guy, see if he's napping here. I kept him on hold a
Yeah, you
while.
did.
Hey, Randall, how you doing?
Hey, no, I ain't that.
He's
Man,
ready today.
brother, man, we just beat the record. The record, that you had me on hold before was 138, and AT said we just hit 140.
All right.
All right, so man, and look, I'm gonna tell you, I needed it. Like I don't know, y'all just have to know, I feel safe when I'm on hold like this. Like can't nobody really touch me, and you my safe place if I ever had one, man. Thank you. And
I'm not going to give you a hug. I'm sorry.
I'll give you a hug, man.
I want to tell you so much. I know that I one day I want to come on during the Alabama home mortgage commercial because what she, the difference between when she done both my son, and I don't want to step on nobody else's commercial because man, the ad is amazing. All your ads are, so I don't want to double them up. But that Cracker Barrel over there at that store you talking about, Eddie,
Yeah.
My mom and dad was robbed there.
Is that right?
Yeah. But, before, my mom had loved that place.
Oh, yeah.
They was inside eating. I said they were robbed. Their stuff was robbed. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you left, the car was locked up, but they just busted one down.
Well, they did a lot of business there, but pretty confident the crime got so bad that Cracker Barrel said, you know what, we're going to take it a few miles up the interstate. We'll see y'all later. And that's exactly what they did.
And what your brother just said, your partner said, it's about the money. I was gonna say you could do it the other way about the doing the freeway. You could do it either way, proving you are innocent already, or you can try to prove you guilty already. They can try to prove you guilty, but it was all about the money. And Byron, bro, I don't know who done got a hold of you and Reed since them other two sit behind that mic, but for you, y'all be taking what Reed's doing with the illegals. And what you sit here talking about wanting us to pay more money, but not the criminals, and using waving a gun around.
Randall, hold on.
Just open up a can of worms, Byron.
Randall. At what point did I say I want you to pay any more money for something?
So y'all gonna do it for free? They gonna go do a background check for free? I need one anyway. So yeah, all right, yeah. All right,
problem solved.
So on what's coming to Selma and Montgomery, and why they add Millbrook to this is the smart cities, and the lights are coming. The power company's gonna swap out all the lights. Montgomery ain't gonna need no police. They're gonna get y'all to vote to turn all the doorbell cameras over to, and it's fine. Like the ones that most people got, you can't crack into them. That's a fact. Like you really gotta know what you're doing to break into them if you don't okay it. But the ones they sell on TV, and I just use TV, I won't call other ones out. The cheap ones, the ones that you buy, the good ones, automatically let the cheap ones hook to them, no matter what they're told to. They're programmed to. So it's easy to backdoor the cheap ones, and then the backdoor to the good ones is the cheap ones already. So they got the key to everything. So if y'all go along with this, and this is what's about to happen, because they're saying they can't solve nothing without a video camera. They're going to say, let's just turn all the video over to the city, and we'll have 20 cops in one room watching over the city, and y'all going to be safe.
They still won't have nobody to go arrest people.
Right.
I mean,
no, if you drink, what's going to happen, like outside, I'm going to use Baumhauer. They're better to get their outside camera, but it's also going to let them use the camera beside them to look through that. But the good part is they were already arrested who done the shooting on that highway. They would tell you that. That's what they want you to get in your hand. They want you to do this. You know, it's coming. And Selma started in 2019. Montgomery, I think, started before that. So they used the tornado to get a lot of money poured into Selma, man.
Oh yeah, I just hope they do something with it. Man, I hope they do something.
No, the deaths happened in Atala County. 7 people were killed here. Man, they ain't hardly. Man, they did what they had to do, but they done way more over yonder, and nobody died. It destroyed a lot more of historical value and stuff like that. I give them that, but their government lives are worth more than that crap. I don't care what you say.
Well, that's the political point. You know, Selma. Randall, Selma's a political hotbed. You know that, man, and that. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way that is.
They didn't make these people whole over here, and they doubled down over there.
I don't know if they really made them whole over there either. I think they kept some of that money.
Well, it's coming. It's coming for the smart city side. They already got free internet inside the city. Like you can just pull up and hook up right now. And the people, they don't understand the back side of that is that your digital footprint, man, that you're leaving for your kids is awful. Like they already gonna know you know what I mean? Because it's in your house, and they all that stuff hooked together. They already gonna know what to come at your kids with, because you're already gonna be leaning that way. They already know how to pull them a little further. And the smart city Atlanta is halfway there. They already installed the light, like the lighting system that the power company the Georgia Power put over there, and you know Alabama and Georgia Power the same.
Same thing.
Like it'll go right in your car and hear you, baby. And it ain't no joke. It's high tech stuff, man. And all this crime is to make y'all want this thing. And the vigilante stuff, they do some of that up in Michigan. Like I follow people who actually go around. But the thing is, all the store owners are good. They good with these folks.
Yeah.
Man, if you own a business, you all good. Don't own a business and say I want to holler at Eddie for a second about going fishing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Man, it's bull crap. Like they pick and choose who they want to help when it comes to someone that's like that. And if you ain't on their team, then you ain't on the right team. And it shouldn't be that way. We got to figure this out together and quit trying to say we're gonna take care of ourselves. because we should be in this together. And right now, we head down a road where we should for real get on different rivers, and we ain't gonna never be able to beat these people. And the people I'm talking about is in Washington, not at the back door, and not when your ring doorbell. Yeah, that's fine. You gonna say ain't nothing to give you yours, but heck, your neighbor might want some little privacy. They ain't gonna be looking at you. They're gonna be looking at him. You know what I mean, y'all? They're gonna use your neighbor's crap to look at you, and you gonna feel safe because you thinking they watching your house, but no, they using your neighbor's house to watch your house, and that's how it works.
Well, I appreciate you being so patient, Randall, and I appreciate the insights.
I appreciate the daggone man. We got to call the Guinness Book of World Records because I know we got to get this. I want to see what the record is on every radio station. Because, you know what I mean, then we'll do that. Maybe they know for 3 hours.
Well,
all right, bro.
See you, Randall.
272-9228. Hey, let's go to James. Hey, James.
Good afternoon. God bless America.
God bless America.
I got 2 little digits for you. Speaking of Selma, in about 2004, I spent New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we were scouting for a movie in Selma, and so we decided to spend the holiday there. And so I got sent on a little mission to a store, and I went, and from the time we were staying at the hotel, the one downtown, the old hotel, can't remember the name of it. But anyway, I left there and heard gunshots. Well, I drove and I was looking for something. I forget now what it was. And I had to go to several places. And every time I got out of the car, I heard gunshots. Now, of course, I was told, oh, that's just New Year's Eve, blah, blah. Well, I finally went to the last place, naturally. Last place I looked, I found what I was looking for. But anyway, something that was rare at that time, when I pulled up, there were 2 men fully dressed in uniform. They weren't police. They were security guards, but they had strapped on weapons. They had strapped on, handcuffs. They were there. I mean, they were guarding there at that filling station, and I thought that was sort of that was just the future coming. So that was but that was a long time ago. But my other compliment to the Montgomery Police Department, back when Emory Farmer was mayor, they had a certain situation that you could call the police department and tell them that you were going to be out of town. And they would look at your, they'd keep an eye on your house.
Come check your doors.
I did that religiously every time I worked for a power company and would travel a lot. But anyway, one Saturday morning, I was asleep and bam, 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 bam. I heard somebody pounding on the door, and I walked to my front door, and the largest policeman I had ever seen in my entire life was standing at my door. All I could see was his badge. I couldn't see his head. He was so big. And I opened the door, and he said, "Come here." I said, "Yes, sir." And I didn't know what so I walked out there, and he pointed at my car. My window was down, and there was about maybe $10, $15 laying on my seat. And he said, "We don't want you to do that." I said, "No, sir. I won't ever do that again." But, that was back in the olden days when Emory Farmer was the mayor. Montgomery was a very safe, I thought, then. It was a very safe place. And, I don't live there now, but I understand Montgomery has fallen considerably in their protection. And I don't think it's the policeman's fault. I think it's administration fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because Emory Farmer used to tell me, as long as I protect your street, keep your fires put out, and your trash picked up, they're going to reelect me.
Yep.
There you
And that
go.
was pretty much true.
Yep.
There you go.
And he stayed mayor for a great deal of time, and I forget the fellow that was on the council that was sort of his adversary. Donald Watkins. I can't remember. But anyway, they would argue with each other, but then Emory get reelected. And he told me several times, if I get your trash picked up, I put your fires out, and I protect you, you go reelect. And that was very true. So,
It was.
But, that was a long time ago and far, far away.
Indeed, sir. But I appreciate you telling us about it, James.
Thank you,
It does
James.
give perspective. And
All
thank
right,
you for the
brother.
call, sir. 272-9228. Again, that's 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, well, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you. And we were reporting this yesterday from Pest Pro.
Yes.
That the termite swarms are happening all
They
over
have
the
been
area.
noticed all over the area.
That
Yeah.
freaked me out yesterday. I didn't realize that was as prevalent as it is.
Have you ever experienced one?
No.
It is literally something out of a movie. You're looking for the camera going, or that, or the gates of hell. It's incredible.
Yep.
You're just all these flying. They're swarming at you, flying termites. Yeah, it's not a fun experience to have, especially at night.
And so, number one, you don't want to experience that nightmare.
Right.
And number two, the even worse nightmare is if you have massive termite damage on your property.
You ain't kidding, Joey.
Here's the deal. Termite treatment and termite damage, they're not covered by homeowners insurance.
They are not.
So you might as well go with the treatment early. It's a lot less expensive than fixing termite damage.
Prevent it, man.
And Pest Pro, well, they're the best in the game right in this
100%.
area.
100%.
They come out, treat your property for termites, check, see if there's any issues ongoing, or they can put in some basic preventative steps to make sure they never touch that home
That's
of
right.
yours. And of course, they can help you with treating your yard for mosquitoes. 'Tis the season, the mosquitoes are coming
Mosquitoes
alive.
are here now. We got the fire ants
fire
happening.
ants. Ooh.
I had a friend of mine. I was at his house the other day moving some logs, and guess what? The scorpions were there, Joey. The scorpions.
Freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Whether you have an immediate emergency or it could be you're just looking for a great, trustworthy, effective pest control company, that's Pest Pro Services. Give them a call today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you could always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And folks, we have some breaking news, especially for you old stoners out there. But hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Okay.
But the headline is the U.S. Drug Control Agency will move to reclassify marijuana in a historic shift. So the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration will move to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug.
Mm-hmm.
The Associated Press has learned a historic shift to generations of American drug policy that could have wide ripple effects across the country. The DEA's proposal, which still must be reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget, would recognize the medical use of cannabis and acknowledge it has less potential for abuse than some of the nation's most dangerous drugs. However, it would not legalize marijuana outright for recreational use.
But you know what it will allow? The credit card companies, the banking industry, allow them to make just a little bit more money than they've been making. Because before, as far as I can tell, or as far as I remember, even if you were a legal weed shop, you had no bank that you could really do business with. So
At their own risk.
Yeah. And so, yeah, most of them, I'm sure a mom and pop bank would step right up, but I don't think a big corporate bank would want anything to do with it. The risks are too high.
They just seem so late to the party.
Yeah, because the money's finally right.
Well, right. No, wait, are we learning that, like, you watch politicians, you follow the money, right?
No doubt about that.
Is that rule number 3 there for you?
Rule.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's rule number 3.
Rule number 3.
Right, okay.
We've done this before.
So, and what's going to be funny is all these people for years that have said, it's the devil's lettuce and you're going to hell for smoking weed. Watch how they get to the other side now.
Jazz cabbage.
Yeah.
Right.
Watch how they come to the other side because that money starts flowing in.
They were already on that side.
Well, like, look, John Boehner, right? He's made bank in Ohio.
Yeah.
After getting out of the speaker's chair.
Well, a lot of police officers got out of law enforcement and went into that field because they knew the laws were crap and they knew things were changing.
So, big news there. Are we going to make it a partisan issue, though, Republicans? And am I going to have to watch some United States senator be like, Joe Biden wants kids on drugs? Am I going to have to see that?
No, I'll be the opposing person here that's going to say the only reason they're allowing this is because Joe Biden wants to get reelected. This is another thing he's doing just to get reelected.
Right.
Free college money and free weed.
I still haven't got my free college money.
No?
No.
Did you not qualify?
I'm one of those poor Joes that's actually paying back their student loans.
Yes. You and my wife are those suckers.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys, though, I'll be honest.
Well, I appreciate the confidence in the loaning institution to think that I'd actually be able to one day.
That's and just about college debt and when you buy a house. When you see those numbers at the closing table and you're like, holy crap. And imagine getting in college. You're thinking, okay, this college debt's going to be a couple $100,000. I can't even afford a sandwich right now. How am I ever going to pay this back?
The best I've ever heard it explained was a comedian said, student loans are essentially a loan in a small business, and you're that small business.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to take that on? And if I would have had someone explain it to me at that point,
very good way
I'd probably be, retired from the military at this point.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. College loans, you couldn't, if college student, you could get that loan nowhere else for anything else except for college. You couldn't get it for a business loan. They wouldn't give you a car loan. They won't give you a motorcycle loan.
Give you
but
that
I'll
one.
give you a couple $100,000 for education.
Oh,
Yeah. Thumbs up with that.
Yeah, it's just reward your friends, punish your enemies. Isn't that kind of old school politics right there? 272-9228. And shifting gears here, I keep saying that no matter what polls are showing, it's going to take a miracle for Trump to win.
Yes.
And I mean that.
I know.
Like, look at everything they're throwing at him. And if that doesn't work, you think they're just going to stop?
No.
But the new poll out from Emerson College found that Trump leads Biden. Well, actually, let's not even do that one. Let's do the one that actually includes RFK Jr. Because I don't know why they keep doing this, just Biden, Trump
With
head to
and
head.
without.
It's very clear RFK Jr. is going to be in this thing.
Well, maybe that's by
So-
intent then. Just keep him out of it as long as they can.
So when RFK Jr. is included, Trump leads Biden 44 to 40% in Arizona, again, according to Emerson College polling and The Hill. 45 to 39% in Georgia, 43 to 42% in Michigan, 42 to 37% in Nevada, 47 to 37% in North Carolina, 45 to 41% in Pennsylvania, and 45 to 40% in Wisconsin. Now, and another thing I constantly say, I learned this from all people, Christopher Hitchens, the polls condition the polls.
Yep.
He started to notice in the early 90s, because this wasn't a thing for a long time, where these media companies would start, like The Hill or Fox News or NBC, would start commissioning their own polls and then present the polls findings as news.
Fact, I just didn't like that.
And you got to wonder, polling ain't cheap.
No.
So the stuff that's been put out there for free, folks, there's a reason it's being put out there for free. Sometimes it might be truthful. If, like, your campaign's doing great, you want let's keep the momentum going, be on the winning side.
Sure, but you don't add a couple points to it.
Listen, trying to use very clean language here. There are ladies of the night in all shapes and form and fashions that inhabit all different sectors of politics. There are people who will suppress certain populations, misreport or underreport, maybe not include a certain demographic, and unless you're smart enough to go through the methodology and look for that sort of stuff, no one's going to be any of the wiser.
Yep.
So just because it's a poll doesn't mean that it's real and doesn't mean that it's accurate.
Amen. And again, with everything that's being thrown at Trump, again, it's going to take a miracle.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't either.
Talking about Wisconsin, I mean, I told you the story off the air. Like, the amount of, I don't think the viewers down here understand the amount of work that the Democrats have done in 3 counties in Wisconsin. And I'm talking about from the standpoint of, we were doing our direct door-to-door canvassing for a candidate statewide. Knock on someone's door. He answers, asks me why it's taking me so long to get there. It's like, well, you know, you're a general election voter. We're just not getting to you now. Democrats had already visited him 3 times.
Wow.
Not with
3 times.
Not with the campaign.
Right.
Just the national Democrats have already visited him.
Has the RNC gotten anywhere near being on par with them?
No, and they're actually they may represent real numbers, but the quality of those numbers are subject. I mean, let me put it to you this way. A lot of these door programs, they hire young kids, say
That's what I figured,
22, 23 years old, give them some asinine number like you have to hit 500 doors a day or you're going to be fired. What do you think a 22-year-old kid's going to do?
I hit 500 doors like an hour and a half later.
Yeah. Right? Lie your tail off, plug the data in. Seeing this is where we the parties down ballot or down the ladder kind of get screwed a little bit. So that information is filtered into all the data that the RNC gives to the different states. So all this free information that you're getting is inaccurate information.
Not really good information.
Exactly.
Propaganda everywhere. Like, you can't escape it, folks. And you know, as we get closer, I would love your help, Byron. Like, it'd be cool to look at like what are actual realistic paths to victory in the Electoral College for Biden and Trump. Well, how does RFK actually play into this?
My loose math this morning. Top all game. I mean, that one little district in Nebraska for that 1 point.
Yeah.
I mean, 270.
Oh,
really?
I mean,
and then it's thrown.
I mean, if you look, if he loses Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and I think still holds Georgia, gets Arizona and Nevada, then I think that's 270.
And so if it's a tie in the Electoral College or nobody gets to 270, it's then thrown, I believe, into the House of Representatives. And then each state delegation, each state gets a vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are more red states than blue states, right?
So whoever the one, I'm going to say conservative gentleman was that said that they weren't a big fan of Speaker Johnson, come later on in the year, there's a scenario where he might be Johnson's biggest fan.
Boy. Yeah, that could definitely be a real thing. How about this? Let's go to TR. Hey,
right.
TR.
Hey, brothers, how are y'all?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Hey, you think cricket's laughing from heaven?
Chirping away.
I got gnomed. I was going to give y'all a trivia question, kind of lighten things up. Back when the police department kind of took care of us pretty well, who was the 50 year in the last 50 years? Who was the chief of police that had 2 bluegrass bands? Two different ones.
I have no
Off the
clue.
top of my head, I don't know. Yeah.
I know somebody out there knows. Probably simpler days. Anyway.
2 bluegrass bands.
All right. Well, y'all have a good day. Love
Thank
to
you,
hear
TR.
your response. Have a good day.
Like, did they like
I'm
pick the
assuming
banjo?
they were the lead person in the band.
What the? Oh, man, never mind.
Never mind.
I'm going to sit on that one.
Okay. I want to shift gears again. Well, it does have to do with the conversation we were just having. Is the question of RFK Jr. And he's been making the rounds all over all sorts of media, but he's continuing to make the bet that maybe he's looking for that sort of breakdown of the Electoral College to where he could sneak in some way. Or maybe he's counting on because, well, here, this is with Ben Shapiro. Let's listen to the argument RFK Jr. is putting out there.
I think that a lot of people who support President Trump, myself included, will believe that he got rolled by his own state. And that's why 2020 was a disaster.
I know, man. It's so much, but keep going.
We need somebody in there who will not get rolled.
Well, and it doesn't even really get
gotta
better.
have it on
but
fast forward.
Let's keep listening.
Bureaucrats. This is what my uncle, when my uncle was president during the Cuban Missile Crisis, there were 13 people on the ExComm committee who were, living at the White House, including my father, who got a cot at the White House, and we didn't see him for 13 days. Even though we're only 14 minutes from the White House, my home at Hickory Hill. My father was there, and Bob McNamara, Dean Acheson, all the graybeards from the diplomatic corps, and the Curtis LeMay and Louis Lemonster from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So they were all meeting sometimes 24-hour a day, on and off. And the first time they voted, there was an 11 to 13 vote that we invade Cuba and we bombed the missile sites. There were 64 Russian missile sites that the Russians had secretly erected there. My uncle said to him, "But are there warheads on the active warheads on those missiles?" The CIA didn't know. And my uncle said, "Are the gun crews Cuban or are they Russian?" The CIA said, "We don't know, but we think they're Russian." How many people in the gun crews? Up to 600 on each gun crew, 64 gun crews. My uncle said, if we bomb them and kill all those Russians, isn't Khrushchev going to have to come to Berlin? And they said to him, "We don't think he has the guts to do that." My uncle said, I'm not going to take that risk. He asked them for the aerial photos, and he examined them himself. He went granular, and then the last day, after the 13th day, this is the 13th most dangerous days in history. There are many times during that period that many of those people believe that they may wake up dead the next morning because the nuclear exchange would wipe out the East Coast. The last day, my uncle took a vote, and he already knew what he was going to do, the embargo. He said, he took a vote. He said, "This is the final vote," and they voted 8-6 to invade. And my uncle said, "The sixes have it." So what he was saying is, "I'm listening to you. You're experts. I value your advice. but I'm going to make up my own mind about what's good, what's best for this country. And
when it comes to
unfortunately,
deregulation,
President Trump has shown that he doesn't have that capacity.
Yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying Trump kind of is getting the runaround from all the experts in the room, especially on COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder, does RFK Jr. say get on a debate stage? And from listening to all these guys, Trump, Biden, and RFK Jr., despite his voice, RFK seems to be the one that actually seems to command the facts and his point of view, even if you disagree with them. He seems a little bit more compelling. Now, I have a hard time believing he's going to be able to peel off much of anybody who are already in the camps of Trump and Biden. Because, well, what's happening is I don't love Biden, but I hate Trump, or I don't love Trump, but I hate Biden, and we can't play this game of going for a third-party person. But of all the third-party challenges we've seen, I guess, since Perot, this seems like one of the more serious ones. And again, I don't know if this polling's accurate, but it looks like RFK's at least getting into the teens, into double digits in some of this stuff. So I guess it depends on the state. But it's going to complicate things going forward, I'll put it that way. And I continue to maintain that it's still very early. In fact, these are probably the most dangerous months for Joe Biden, if they do want to make a little switcheroo right before the convention.
I think his State of the Union saved him from that.
Saved him?
I was on that train a long time ago about the convention. Whitmer from Michigan is my dark horse.
Gretchen Whitmer to replace him.
Yeah, I'd love to see a poll that actually has him in double digits somewhere, because I'd love to do a side-by-side to see how much money is being spent and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
I'd find that hard to believe. To me, that just seems more like the disenchanted, if you will.
Right.
And as you all know, negative campaigning works, and suppressing everyone to just the diehard voters. I think that's probably the best way to look at it right now.
Well, this is why we're inviting you on, because Eddie and I are not... we kind of get the broad strokes, but we are not granular on the details by any means with this polling stuff. And I also maintain that it's not just a dangerous time for Biden. I don't know if in terms of issues, like what's actually happening in the world, the table's not fully set yet. Like anything could happen in these next few months.
Yeah.
Well, you can bank on the national Dems, making abortion a major issue October, and that's going to rile up, suburban women all across the battleground states.
All the anti-Semitism that's going on, you think that that's going to play? Because honestly, from what I'm seeing, and I know I'm sided on this, but from the Democrat Party, I don't see anybody coming out to defend anybody of the Jewish faith at this point. I see some half-hearted efforts, but if you look at what the actual leaders are doing, some of them are going to the protests themselves.
I think the leaders are showing their true colors.
Me too.
And I just cowards are them all.
I just wonder if I'm hoping that plays a bigger issue. I hope this doesn't go quiet.
I hope the hypocrisy and whenever they choose to champion one group over another, I hope that that's exposed. I hate injustice in any shape or form. I'm against. I mean, I hope we all are. But it is interesting, the hypocrisy of what they pick and choose. Now, whether or not that's enough to move the masses, so to speak, I don't know. We'll see.
And one of the things I heard the other day from an older person, and she kind of nailed it. She said, I just felt like I got screwed when the president made me pay for these people's college education. Now I feel like these same people that just got free checks are the same ones on campuses trying to tear it down. There's no appeasing these. And then when she says these people, she goes strictly to Democrats. She said this is, in her idea, and I don't want to agree 100%, but in her mind, this is their policy. They put this out there 100%, and they're going to live and die by this.
I mean, it's interesting, these people, they, them, if we would start attacking these problems more from we, us, how are we going to solve this problem? Going back to what we were talking about earlier, we have to find common ground.
Right.
And then we can actually get into the best paths to get from A to Z. But we at least have to start A with, we all want the same things.
That's it. That's kind of my thought. Is we all want the same thing, but you have so many people that have just been flat out. And she's one of them, flat out just disenfranchised. She's been against every single thing that's happened and feels like she has no voice.
Brother, I mean,
oh yeah.
Truth be told, unless you're the CEO of a Fortune 100 company or have a $50,000 members or 50,000 person membership, we're all disenfranchised.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, you're reaching that common ground with someone like her. No, there's no common ground. We burnt that common ground a long time ago. And I think there's a lot of people like her.
25% of the people in this country feel like it's already past the
Yeah,
point of
you're
no
right.
return, and 50% believe we're an election cycle away. That's the scariest.
Wow,
that's the scariest stat I know of.
Yeah, that's
75% of
not
this
know that.
country think we are one election away from losing it.
The folks need to also need to be prepared for the idea that decline can happen very slowly, even if it is still decline. And what's the old Adam Smith line? There's a lot of ruin in a nation. Like it could, this corrupt group that runs things out of DC, the corrupt system that a lot of people feel disenfranchised because of, if it is still strong, it can last a lot longer than you think.
Well, it will last a long time, but you piss off a bunch of people here in the United States, South, Midwest, Northeast, I don't care where you are. We all got some sort of an attitude. There will be a politician tarred and feathered at some point.
I got the tar.
Well, I've been calling for Americans to get their tea wet again. So let's go to David real quick. Hey, David.
Does listening to RFK Jr. not remind you of Katharine Hepburn, like a male version of Katharine Hepburn?
David, why'd you put that in my head now? I'm not going to be able to shake this now. It's like I'm watching on Golden Pond every time he talks now.
I know. Bye, Uncle. Look at the photograph.
Wow.
He's hard to listen to. I mean,
He is, but he has gotten a lot better. I'll give him that, because in the beginning, I didn't even give him a chance to make it this far.
I know. I'm surprised he's made it this far.
Yeah, me too. But that's how bad our selections are.
Well, and what's interesting, too, is you don't have to look at polling numbers. Both Biden and Trump have been hitting RFK Jr. lately.
Oh, yeah.
So he's getting enough
he's getting some traction
to where they're like, we got to attack him.
Yeah.
At least set the ground
One
here.
of my favorite old lines is, if you ever do want to see Democrats and Republicans hold hand to solve a problem, let a third party emerge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, when he's polling, you know, even though it's in the modest double digits, that's still enough to affect an election, and so they're out to get him. Oh yeah, no doubt. So he's catching it from both sides now.
Well, we'll see
that's
what
good
happens. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Gotta hit this break. Hopefully we'll have Ray Bowles on the other side.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hey there, folks. It's your trusted real estate professionals, Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, here with an exciting announcement. We have made the move to Forest Meadows Homes and Lands. That means we're now even more equipped to serve you and your real estate needs.
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling, working with us ensures that you're in the best hands. Personalized service, expert advice, and now more options and opportunities.
So why wait? Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. Give me, Hannah Grantham, a call at 334-368-6358.
Or me, Eddie Bader, 334-322-0662, and let's get you moving.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Well, the answer to the trivia question, who was the police chief who was in 2 bluegrass bands?
Yeah.
John Wilson.
John Wilson.
That was his name.
And one of the band's name was Buck Springs.
Yeah.
And one of our callers was his first partner.
All right, then.
Yep.
Wow.
Fair enough. Yep.
Well, while Eddie's manning the phones, emphasis on manning. Man, look at that dog shirt, that turquoise dog shirt. That's nice. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dylan Rings. We talked about him a little earlier, but if you go to Facebook right now, just search Dylan Rings, folks, you will see the sort of work Josh Ryder can do when it comes to custom design. And it is a ring design for a man. Like it's there's an aggressiveness to it, still with diamonds and gold. But just a beautiful piece.
Good looking ring.
And here's the deal. When you do the custom design, of course, it's a big decision usually. So what Josh will do is he'll create a digital rendering. And he can have like a finger on the computer so it matches your skin tone, how it's going to look on you, different lighting, different directions. And if that's what you want, he'll make it a reality.
Yes, he will.
Incredible stuff there. And of course, they have an amazing selection at Dylan Rings, from high-end jewelry pieces to, well, those everyday jewelry items that aren't going to break the bank and won't break your heart if you lose it, say, at the beach. But you still want to look good when you're going out to have fun. Maybe you're floating the Coosa or something and going whitewater rafting down at the new
I'm ready
park
when you are,
or
baby.
something like that. And, of course, they could do repairs, appraisals, spa cleanings.
Oh, that's
spa
right.
treatments, so cleanings, shinings.
Do the whole
these sorts of things.
resizing, too. Let's say you've gotten a little bit skinnier and your rings are falling off.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. A little bit fatter. It's
we're
and it's
not
getting
talking
too
about you and
tight.
me, but all right.
So check out Dylan Rings today. You can always go to 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Taylor Road. I tend to remember it's kind of where the old Fun Zone used to be.
That's right.
And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, sent you. Oh, we got Ray Bowles on the line from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Man, what a beautiful day. Don't you just love Tuesday? It's the best day of the week.
Tuesday. Yeah.
I'm telling you, just don't get better than a rain. It starts off rainy, and then it ends up like this. And if you have that incredible Smart Strand carpet, you love rainy Tuesday mornings. There's just nothing better. It makes all the flowers prettier. It makes the grass prettier. And you don't have to worry about your dogs bringing stains into the house when they go out there to do their business.
This is true.
And if they're like my dogs and they don't want to go in the rain and they'd rather do the business inside, that's really not an issue either.
Your relationship with dogs, man.
It's not the best thing that happens in the morning, but it's so long Angie still asleep and I can get it cleaned up before she wakes up. All is good.
That won't kill your day, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. I've got a little bit bigger heart when it comes to the dogs than Angie does. They get away with murder with me.
Yeah,
but hey, and there's another great thing about today.
Yeah.
It's Bart and Dawn's anniversary today.
Really?
30 years. So if you call the store at 285-8117, ask for Bart and tell him happy anniversary. It'll make his day.
30 years.
Can that number, folks, 285-8117. And yes, be sure to wish Bart a happy anniversary. And also mention, well, Ray was on the phone on the radio show.
Yeah.
Talked about dogs crapping on the carpet.
If you need floors that'll take dog crap, call me.
Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
Gotta put that on a billboard.
Yep. So your talk show's from Alabama? Yep. Yeah.
Never would have guessed it.
It really is. So what did we learn today, gentlemen?
Well, we've learned that
there's a lot of violence and shooting.
A lot more violence than
lack
probably
of
people want to
policing.
admit here in the area. But we've also learned that RFK Jr. getting a little traction, making enough to getting the other two parties a little bit nervous.
And that he sounds like Katharine Hepburn. Or is it more Susan Collins of Maine?
I'll go with Hepburn.
Yeah.
Much rather go with Hepburn.
Yeah. We learned not to trust polling. We did learn that.
Yeah.
We've learned we need to stop thinking about it as like those people, those weirdos on the other side. We either need names Or we need to actually start thinking about, we're in this together, especially at a local level. Like, that's literally your neighbor.
Kind of makes a lot of sense, right?
Positive note.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. Exactly right. And we also learned that Cricket is still in doggy heaven and looking down and smiling.
Sup, Swither.
And on that note, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Fidel. Well, that fella's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Negotiations between protesters